यार करें क्या स्टार्ट करें
हाँ माइक ऑन है ना
या hello and welcome to lessons from the screen. Today with me is Vignesh Nair.
यार you pronounced my surname wrong यार
Vignesh Nair? No.
Nadar
Take two.
Nadar
Sorry, take two. With me today is Vignesh Nadar.
नहीं but Nair is also a South Indian surname.
I'm sorry, this is my ignorant North Indianness showing up in real time. Yeah.
Yeah, but Nair is a Brahmin surname.
Oh, yeah, we will go there. We will go there. Today we're gonna go there because today we are talking about Homebound.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your takes about the movie Homebound?
So take wise, so Homebound, I don't know if you saw the news. Homebound is one of the top 15 films that like yesterday got shortlisted into the Oscar foreign category lineup. So we are kind of competing against 14 other foreign films for the Oscars this time. And yeah, Scorsese is backing it. And yeah, it's so I don't know. You watched Homebound at home, I guess.
Yeah, I did watch it at home.
Yeah, I had a theatrical experience for this.
Okay.
Again, not surprising, but in an empty theater.
Okay. Yeah, not surprising at all.
Yeah. Yeah, but the experience of watching this movie again in a closed space was like very emotional and kind of a very tearing experience as well. I mean, like this movie again, like a lot of other movies that we reviewed, we've spoken about, kind of again brings you to tears while watching it. I mean, the experience as a whole is it like because at the core the film speaks about the friendship of these two underdog boys from a small village and how they struggle their ways back up to the ladder and want to like live a decent life that Indian society never lets you to. So yeah.
I see what you're saying. Because the first time when I watched this movie, I'll not say it brought me to tears, but it was definitely a touching movie. It is definitely a touching movie. And further down in this conversation, I'm gonna talk a lot about how this movie just touches the surface. It doesn't go deep, etc., etc. But I also want to remind myself, and I want to give this disclaimer before I start saying that this movie doesn't go deep enough, that this is the only movie of its kind right now that has come out lately.
Yeah, I think
Like when you see that, I can say that it doesn't go that deep, but there's nothing else that is even doing this much.
Yeah, the thing is like over the last few years, like filmmakers have been making films about social issues.
Yeah.
But the thing is that those films have become so mainstream.
Yeah.
Like they do obviously touch upon real issues, but again they are mainstream films. They don't they do say that they are touching upon these real issues, but they don't give you a holistic or a very real
They only do it as far as it's convenient.
realistic, yeah, kind of. They don't portray a very realistic approach of what actual issue of the actual issues that exist, or how people on the ground actually tackle them on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So this is one of the few films, at least in the past few years, that actually tries to at least show you.
In my opinion, this is good filmmaking. You know why? Because I have always felt that cinema is not just a bunch of digital frames together now, or a bunch of iron whatever emulsion on a magnetic strip earlier, right? That like it's not about the technicality, it's not about the actor or the dialogue, it's about how it moves the viewer, or what is the viewer walking away with when they walk out of the theater. you know. And in that way, for example, I remember a lot of people talking about when Lage Rao Munna Bhai came out. Though it was comedy, though it was uh, about a dawn and it was supposed to be funny and all of that, but when you walked out of the theater, I remember back then a lot of reviewers said that, you know, when the viewer walks out, they walk out with this Gandhian sense of calm. Right? Similarly, with this movie, I feel it is good filmmaking because when you walk out with this sense of you have a better understanding of the problem that a lot of people in our country face, and you just have a little more empathy for them. So in that way, I think it is good cinema because it is trying to make this world a better place. Anything that really stood out to you? Anything specific?
Like a lot of things. I mean, the two main characters as well. I mean, Chandan on one side and the other character Shoaib on the other side. I mean, these characters are so nuanced and they've been written with so much of depth. I mean, those characters are not just one-dimensional characters. You see a lot of flavors in and around those characters, a lot of things happening in and around those characters. It's not just like they focused on just one conflict throughout the film. The multiple conflicts throughout the film. I mean, obviously, one major conflict across the film is the minority issue that is obviously constantly playing out because that is the core of the film. Like Chandan, who is a Dalit character, and Shoaib on the other hand is a Muslim character in the film. Even though the minority track runs throughout the film, but apart from those things, there are a lot of other things that have been discussed within that. Like be it a job issue, be it something related to education.
This is even something I realized, you know, in the opening shot when they are at the train station and they are going to get this job, and there's literally a sea of people going to give
it's an
the
same
exam. And you know, that is true, right? Like every once in a while you'll see in the news, you'll see on social media that in Bihar somewhere there was this teacher exam for which there were 300 vacancies and like 300,000 people went to give
10 lakhs people gave.
which is very true, which is the sad state of our country, right? 6 months, 8 months ago, something I saw this video online where somewhere in Gujarat or something, so many people went to give this interview. There was a railing at the stairs. The railing fell off. Right, and guess what happens? Nothing. These people, they just get up. They are now shouting and howling, and just keeps going on.
Yeah, it exposes that dark reality where, I mean, children from a very younger age in these smaller villages or towns have been constantly fed this idea that your life will be more better if you happen to have a government job. And I think somewhere down the line, your family, your parents, your friends, your relatives,
It's a part of a
everyone is kind of selling you this idea that you need to have a.
It's a part of a much bigger systematic problem, right? Like, if not a government job, then what?
Yeah, because
This government job is the only North Star, is the only goal that they can see. You know, there's nothing else for them. Like, it's not like they have land. It's not like they can go to farming, right? It's not like they are educated and exposed well enough, like you and me, that, you know, they can be like, fine, I'll freelance or I'll start my own thing or I'll be an entrepreneur. It's not like they have any other options. It's not like, for example, in this movie, they are not even graduates. It's not like they can get a job in private sector. This other guy, he gets a job, right? He gets a job as the office boy. Yeah, but like, is that gonna earn him a living? Maybe, possibly, but there's no dignity in it, right? Everybody wants dignity. Everybody wants to do something that buys them dignity above all, right? So many people in the movie or in the real life going to give these exams shows a bigger systematic problem, right? Like, there are just so many jobs, and there are the population of the country is huge.
Yeah. So that scene itself, I mean, the opening scene itself. So one thing I liked about the movie is like it directly starts. I mean, it doesn't have that holding time or like having you show those
It
montages.
doesn't,
Yeah.
how do I put
I mean,
it?
the opening shot of the film is these two guys inside behind that tractor and they
Yeah.
are
It
going
doesn't
to that
like
railway station. Yeah.
ease you in. It
Yeah,
just
it
like,
just throws you in directly.
yeah.
And again, when you shift to that entire train platform scene again,
Yeah.
where the like hundreds of students like just like waiting for that one train to come and halt so that they just can like get in
Which, by
and
the way,
pop
ends
in.
up on the wrong platform because, of course, it does.
Yeah.
Like, this is Indian Railway, brother. Like, what are we expecting?
Yeah, but
You know, in fact, they should be grateful.
Mm.
They should be extremely grateful that the train showed up before the exam. Yeah, like that is my impression of Indian Railway. These days, like trains are so late, it could show up like after your exam is over. So, yeah,
Yeah,
they
but
should be
that
grateful, man.
scene itself, I mean, the way it's been shot and designed, like, I don't know how you felt while watching it, but sitting in that theater with all those, it's just sound. There's no music, anything to it.
Okay,
It's
okay.
just sound design, pure sound design of these ambience, the
And the
students in and
like,
around, and
yeah,
then the
announcements on the,
announcements happening, and then these students jump, they get to know that the train's coming onto another platform.
yeah,
Like there pile of students who just jump and cross over to the other platform, and it's like very terrifying. I mean, like
yeah.
in the moment, how
Yeah. I remember even the
these
first
people
time,
have to adapt.
the first time I saw it, and you know, you see they're running across the
Uh,
tracks,
uh,
and it was like my butt was clenched, man. I was like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Yeah.
So this scene is not just common or restricted to these places. You also see those in your normal Mumbai local trains as well. Subjective.
Thankfully,
But only here people don't just jump and cross.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, very few people do
Very
that,
few people do that.
and
Not everyone risks their
yeah. It's like barely. Like in almost 10 years of living in Bombay, I've seen probably 3 or 4 people in front of me do it in person, and I'm like, yeah. But still, like every time I see somebody do it, and I'm like,
Hmm.
whatever you're trying to do is not worth it. It's just never worth it.
Yeah, but the problem here is also, I mean, there is no system in place, even like when it comes to these kids wanting to travel to a certain place to give a government exam. There is no specific arrangement or a facility made for these kids to kind of have a proper
Yeah,
scheduled train on
yeah.
time so that just they
Yeah.
can go and give that exam. So, yeah, that's one of the things I mean. And like there's one shot also in the same scene, like the trains arrived and these people, these kids are like just pushing each other and wanting to get inside the train. Maybe they'll get a seat, maybe they'll sit near the toilet or what.
Yeah.
So just when they're outside the train, I mean, in the background you still see like there are kids running over the platforms.
Yeah, over the foot over bridge
Foot over
and
bridge,
coming.
yeah. So I mean, like when it comes to detail, I mean, this is like there's too much detailing. I mean, that's been focused upon on this film as well.
So the train scene that you're talking about and the train situation that you're telling. So you said, so for listeners, for context, we took a little break in between. So you just need to get back in the zone. So if I'm not wrong, you said something about there's no facilities for them to travel.
Hmm.
But then what are you expecting? And when I say what are you expecting, I don't mean what are you expecting. I mean like look around in this country and you know how genuinely a lot of people do travel like this to exams. And as I said, you know, it's very normal in parts of this country, in UP, in Bihar, in Orissa, in Jharkhand, and a lot of other states be, not just those, but in a lot of states, literally a lakh, 5 lakh people go and give exam for every single seat which is available. Like one vacancy has genuinely a lakh of people applying for it. Yes, I agree with you that the government should provide better facilities to people going to give exam.
Yeah, after all,
But the government doesn't give a fuck, right?
yeah, but after all,
No, but the
it's,
government doesn't give a fuck.
after all,
If the
it's
government gave, no, I'm so sorry to cut you off, but if the government gave a fuck, there would not be a lakh people applying for one job, right? There would be a lakh jobs for a lakh of people. Like if I care, then that's what I would have done. I just don't care. Do you get it?
Yeah.
Like, see, because I care and I love you as a friend, we are both having coffee. Right? If I didn't, I would haven't. It's like it would just be me with the coffee, right? And I would be like, your problem, man. And you're telling me that, yeah, I hear you. I wish things were different. But these are the things, right? Like,
No, these are the things we would want to have, or we would like to, we hope for to have in a country like ours. Like when,
in the fourth biggest economy.
yeah, like for a moment, let's keep that aside. That like lakhs of people are applying for just 300 odd jobs out there. Let's say we remove that thing from the equation, but at least let's say the government or the authorities understand that on a particular day, let's say from a particular city or from a particular station, there are like tens of
I know what you're
thousands of
saying.
people going to travel to another city, and their only mode of transport is the Indian Railways.
No, I see what you're saying. That if you know that there is an exam for whatever government job,
Yeah.
let's say in Pune. So I'm not expecting there to be connectivity, special connectivity to all the little nooks and crannies, but like, at least a lot of people will go from Mumbai because it's a huge city.
Yeah.
So why don't we have, as you're saying, 10, 15, 20, 50 special buses, right? Mumbai is a huge city, so you should probably be running 100 special buses. Or a place like, I don't know, Nagpur. A lot of people, again, relatively big city, not as big as Mumbai, but still a lot of people live there. And the thing is, like, when you run buses from Nagpur, you're making it much easier for people from, smaller towns and villages near Nagpur, right? So, but it can be done.
Yeah, again,
Can be done.
because given the point here again, I mean, these people who are appearing for these exams, I mean, they've applied for it like a couple of months before.
It's not like you don't know.
Yeah,
Like, they've filled up forms.
Yeah, they have data that from a particular city, these are the amount of students who are going to land up to the exam center, which is in another city, right?
Yes.
that's-
See, they have filled up forms, they have paid you for this
Yeah.
exam, so you
Yeah.
at least know how many people are coming.
Yeah.
And then, if you are a grown ass adult, which I hope you are, you can make educated guesses. As I said, Mumbai would probably need 100 buses. Probably 100 buses won't be enough. Nagpur could do with 20, 30 buses. A much smaller city than Mumbai, right? Satara could probably do with 20, maybe, because it is much smaller than Nagpur, again. Yeah.
And again, given the fact these kids are not like freely also getting onto these trains and traveling without a ticket, they are also paying a certain amount to buy that ticket and then kind of land up on.
Now, see, a lot of people would argue on that. A lot of people would tell you, no, they are traveling without ticket. Right. But then they are also not traveling in conditions which are worth buying a ticket for. Like, you've seen the inside of the coach in the train. Like, you'd be paying for that. And also, the other thing is, I think we had this conversation earlier that, yes, Indian Railway is not making money. It doesn't make a lot of profit. But then the point of railway is not to make profit. And a lot of these capitalism fans, they'll come and tell you that is a socialist idea. That trains don't need to make profit. But then, is your road making a profit? Is your road and your flyover making a profit? No, right? That is a socialist idea, that we build infrastructure for everyone.
Yeah, because
And like, if you hate socialism so much, then why do you love those politicians who promise that they will stop the toll tax collections? No, I thought you were a capitalist. You loved capitalism, right? Go pay your toll taxes, man. Don't be complaining that Atal Setu is what, $250? Yeah, don't be complaining about that.
Yeah, I mean, idea of building infrastructure in any country or in any state, be it as like You're taking money from the public and then kind of providing them infrastructure. So
Exactly.
the thought of making a profit, obviously, I mean, you could also break even or whatever.
Ideally,
again-
yes, of course, we would want railway. I'm not saying that railway should never make a profit.
Make a profit.
Again, ideally, I would love railway to make a profit, but
at least you get a decent service to whatever amount you are paying to travel through any of these things. I mean, be it a train or a bus.
I see what you're saying. But then, I think it is their fault.
Who's
Their fault. The kids who are going to give exams. It was their fault. You know why? They should just bought ticket in Vande Bharat. They should have bought tickets in Vande Bharat, man. It's a brilliant train.
Yeah, so Vande Bharat doesn't exist in the
Pre-COVID era, yeah. It is a pre-COVID era, yeah. So see, that is why we have Vande Bharat. To solve those problems. Yeah, yeah. Don't ask me how those kids would afford those expensive tickets. Minor details. But one of the first things I noticed, so I watched Homebound last night for the second time to write the notes. The night before that, I was watching Three Idiots, which came out in 2009, 17 years ago. And the first thing I noticed is how much longer the disclaimer is in this movie.
In Homebound, right?
Yeah. In 17 years, that is one progress you have definitely done. The copywriting guy or girl, they have made progress. The disclaimer is huge. So much importance is given to it.
Yeah, because anyone can easily get offended after watching a movie like this. Then you don't want to, I mean, at least the filmmakers don't want to
have their film banned,
obviously, and
fire being set to the theaters,
their offices, their houses.
So basically you're telling me,
then their family members being threatened.
So basically you're telling me that the delta of the length of disclaimer between Three Idiots and Homebound, right, shows that in 17 years, how much we have changed as a country and as a society.
So we've stopped, looking at criticism as something that is like a chance for us to improve on ourselves. So I think the term criticism is just being purely taken or labeled as negative. So if anyone criticizes, it is a negative thing. I mean, criticism has both sides. There's negative criticism, there's positive criticism. But I think over a period of these last few years, I mean, at least the last 15-20 years that you're talking about, we've stopped thinking that way. Or at least I feel we've stopped thinking only. We don't think anymore. We just get offended. We just get offended, and we don't want a neutral or a very lateral.
So this is something even I have realized that I have noticed this, in fact, with a lot of people in my personal life as well, that they don't want any answers which cannot be which are not two-liners. If anything cannot be explained in 5 minutes, they just couldn't be bothered. It's if anything goes on for more than 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes, they're just fuck this, bro, I'm out. A lot of which we can blame on the TikTokification, the
social media,
not just social media, the TikTokification of social media,
the real culture,
the short form. But so watching Three Idiots made me realize this, that it's not just social media anyway. It's something much more deeper. Yes, social media is a factor, and the TikTokification, so to speak, of social media is a factor, but it's also somewhere that we are so busy, so struggling always to just put livelihood, to put food on the table, to put our livelihoods together, that we just don't have energy or the mental space for anything bigger or anything that is as I said, more complex than 5 minutes. And you see this in this movie, in politics, as we were talking that, it's like the theater was empty when you went to watch this. Yeah, because this movie has layers, right? Like last night, I hated a few things I saw in the movie. And there are a few things that I loved in this movie. And there's layers like that, and it is, and it's the theaters were empty because audience doesn't want a movie anymore like this, which has layers and which has complexities. They want that 5 minute solution. They want that animal, that Dhurandhar, this good, that bad. Finish.
Yeah, the thing is, again, I mean, the movie again shows what happens in a realistic setup, right? Like what a common man, what a common
Yeah.
person is experiencing on a daily basis. So again, no one wants to get into a theater, sit there for 2.5 hours, and kind of experience or go through the same thing. Like movie going or the theater experience is more like nowadays become like a very liberating
I want to
sort of an
escape the reality.
kind of a thing, right? So
Yeah.
no one wants to spend money on a
2
film,
hours watching
yeah,
the reality instead of escaping the reality.
and then again getting through that
But then,
trauma again.
no, but then what does that say about our reality?
The film.
No, if, as you said, people want to watch something that helps them escape reality, they don't want to spend money and like 2 odd hours watching reality. What does that say about our reality then?
It says that you're very much traumatized in your own real life, right?
Yeah. That shows that
So again,
that we have a long way to
yeah,
go, basically.
so unless and until a person, let's say again, the people who made this film, they are able to make a film of this sorts because they are not traumatized the same way the characters are going through in their present lives. That is the
you
reason
could
why
say
they
so.
are also able to make a film like this.
You
Because
could say
they've
so.
crossed those things in their life, and now they are in a better position where they can come out and kind of talk about these things.
To a lot of degree, that is also privilege,
Yeah, in a way.
right?
Yeah, because the filmmaker himself, I mean, Neeraj Gaiwan, who's the director of the film, he himself is a Dalit.
Yeah.
So he spent his childhood.
I'm sure he has faced a lot of
faced
it.
a lot of these
No, when
things.
I said privilege, I meant like, for example, Scorsese is a part of the crew, right? And um, all the actors. Again, I don't know anything about Scorsese's personal life or Janvi Kapoor's personal life or anybody's life, but pretty much all the actors come from a well-to-do family.
So everyone, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not just like the financial thing or
No, but
a better
in
lifestyle
no,
kind of
wait,
thing.
wait. What I'm trying to say is, in India, at least in India, money shields you against a lot of things. Money shields you against a lot of things.
Yeah, but money is one thing.
So
but again,
so this movie, it comes from, as you said, like these people are able to make this movie because to some degree they come from this place of privilege where
they've come or they've broken that mental barrier.
no, I mean to say they come from the sense of this place of privilege, as in like they can choose to be in this situation, see what is happening, face it. To some degree, even you and me. We can choose to go there, and when it becomes too much for me to take, I can choose to step back, come to home, or hang out with like my people, my friends, and I can completely block out all of that happens in this country. Right? That is not true for a huge chunk of our population.
Yeah,
A lot of us, as in our population, chunk of our population does not have the option to block it out and go somewhere where it doesn't affect them. Like
Yeah.
for example, for you and me, we can.
Yeah, that's
Right.
the reason we are sitting here today and kind of
Exactly,
speaking about
exactly,
the film.
exactly.
Right. Because we are not constantly under that pressure that
Yes.
the two kids shown inside the film
In the movie are, for
are.
example, yeah.
Right. For them, there is no chance or they do not have the time and space to
In
kind of sit down and think for a moment.
In fact, their whole life struggle,
Yeah.
trying to get that police ka naukri, or trying to do the graduation, or even at the end, finding this job in Surat that they show, right? They work in this factory, the cloth factory. It is all an attempt to try to make that. It is all an attempt to, like try to get themselves out of this situation.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Because I think it again comes down from their childhood as well, where they are not equipped or they've not developed in such a way, or their upbringing has not been the way that they are able to think in a way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
ki, how do we get out of this?
Yes.
They see it as just one option, like there's just one job, one government job that I can take, and my life is set for the rest of my entire life. That is the only option they see throughout the movie. And when life throws back at them, then they start finding other options. Then they start exploring other things, thinking, okay, I can do this, I can do that.
No. So, no, wait. What I'm trying to say, what I'm thinking is that there's a difference between us and them in that way. There's a difference that our privilege buys us, that for most of us, job is not a sense of survival, or it's not for survival. We know we can do a lot of things. The world is our oyster. And we look at, okay, what do I enjoy doing? Do I like this company? Last year, 2024, I picked up this job that I absolutely hated the work culture. And in 3 months, I was like, bye-bye. There are still people who were in that company then, who hated the work culture as much as I did. They are still there. Because to a lot of people, they don't know. They don't know what are the other options out there. And also, a job is about earning a livelihood.
Yeah,
And then in that sense, I come from that privilege. In this example, I come from that privilege where I can afford to not earn for a few months and nothing changes in my life.
yeah, that is because of a confidence that comes from within you, right?
No, it's also
It arises
because
from
no.
that
It's
confidence.
not just the confidence, right? It is also that my parents are well-to-do.
Yeah,
Their parents are
it's a
well-to-do.
chain of things again.
Exactly. Like in my family, we've been well-to-do for so many generations that it doesn't matter. But for example, one of the guys who used to work with me. Hello. So we have special guests, by the way. We have Daenerys, my cat. She just ran away. She's a very shy cat. Anyway, I was saying how one of the guys who used to work with me in that company, he still works there because I'm not sure how much of this I'm supposed to tell people, but let's say his parents don't do well, okay, and he has a younger sister who's in school, who's in college, and from his earning, from whatever he earns, he pays for the EMI for the home, and he pays for his sister's college, and he pays for whatever other household groceries, electricity, etc., etc. So, of course, to him that job is very important. Yeah. Yeah. So that way, yes, I see it. Even seems to me really difficult to comprehend why people would think this one government job is everything. But when you put it in that context, you're not going to lose a government job. You're not going to be fired mostly, unless and until you do a major blunder. The job is going to come with a decent salary, and more than just the salary, it's also going to come with some perks. Often, you get government quarters to live in, etc., etc. So you put yourself in those shoes. Of course, that's a brilliant job.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you'll
Better than
never,
any private job, right? Like, why
fact
would you
that
take?
you'll never lose a government job,
Yeah,
that's what attracts most people
a lot
to
of the
go there.
people, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah. But it's also, yes, you'll never lose the job. The pay is gonna be decent.
But again,
Yeah.
the film doesn't speak about these things. Why these,
Oh, that is one of my complaints with
yeah,
this
why
movie,
these two
that
kids are so inclined
or
to
so
that.
many people, like that entire platform full of people.
Huh.
Why? So this is one of my complaints with the movie, that it goes and touches a topic, but it doesn't explore it. For example, um, where his his parents are shown. वो फटे एड़ियों की बात हो
Yeah,
रही
the
है,
first scene where the parents are
राइट, द फटी
introduced.
एड़ियों वाली बात. सो हिज मदर सेज कि ये फटी एड़ियां हमें विरासत में मिली हैं. So that's a great topic to touch on, right? Because a lot of these people in our country don't get anything else in virasat, so to speak. They have no land, they have no property, they have either no jewelry or barely any jewelry. So they don't get anything else in virasat, right? Very often they get their parents ka debt in virasat, ulta.
There's one more thing. I don't know if you watched this guy's Varun Gova's latest stand-up.
No, I haven't. No.
So there's this line where he says in the stand-up set कि हमारे माँ बाप को विरासत में सिर्फ ट्रॉमा मिला है.
So this is a joke I've written. Like a lot of people say this ki generational wealth to
Generational trauma मिला है.
generational trauma, yeah. But so this is my problem with this movie. It touches on this. Ki, a lot of these people in our country, a huge chunk of our country's population, by the way, does not get anything else in Virasat. They get debt. They get all of this. But the movie refuses to even mention the word zamindari. The whole zamindari system is the reason why a lot of these people from the lower castes and from minorities, they don't get anything in virasat, because a huge chunk of their land was taken by the so-called zamindars, which has become illegal in this country for a long time now, but that thing still exists. And the thing is ki so this even happened in Russia right before the October Revolution, before USSR was formed, that a lot of these peasants were freed by their masters, so to speak. A lot of these slaves were freed, but now they had to work enough to earn enough to buy themselves.
अच्छा.
So similarly, what happened in Zamindari is, though it was turned illegal, but if I took all your land, you don't have any land and you are a farmer, how is a farmer going to farm without his farm? Right? So you will have to farm somewhere. I used to be a zamindar. So you will obviously come to me and be like, hey, let me grow, let's say, wheat, and I'll give you X% out of that, and as a rent to the land. The problem is the rent is due regardless the wheat grows or doesn't grow, regardless it rains or it doesn't rain. And agriculture like that, a lot of us city dwellers don't realize, because we open our Blinkit, Zepto, Zomato, Potato, Lotato, whatever, and strawberries show up, mangoes show up, but agriculture doesn't work like that, right? Like there are years when stuff will grow and it will grow amazing, and then there are years where it will flood and everything will be washed away, and there will be years when there will be a drought, it will not rain enough, and the crops will die, and as a farmer there's nothing you can do, because it takes like literally millions of liters of water to grow a few crops. You cannot like artificially get it from a pump or whatever. That is if you can afford a pump.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the
So
film
zamindari is a system which was banned, but since a lot of these, especially the lower caste farmers were left with no land. What are they going to grow? Where are they going to grow? So though zamindari doesn't exist, but it very much exists. Yes. So that is one of my problems with this movie, that it sort of like goes there, but it doesn't touch the topic. It just comes back.
Yeah, but again, if you go that path again,
Yeah.
you'll have to delve into like 200, 300 years of Indian history.
So there is this podcast I often listen to, BJ Pod, Bharatiya Janata podcast. There they talked about this movie a while ago, and They were talking something about subtlety, like the subtlety is not there. Yeah, you know, subtlety thoda missing hai, something.
Yeah, that's one thing.
And
Yeah.
this guy said कि sorry, this guy said कि तुमने अभी का इंडिया देखा है, अभी की बॉलीवुड मूवीज देखी हैं? There's movies like Animal and धुरंधर. Subtlety आके तुम्हें थप्पड़ मार के जाएगा. So yeah, and my favorite joke out of that podcast, subtle Bihari Bajpayee. So yeah. So yes, I'll complain about subtlety, but I also realize subtle Bihari Bajpayee.
No, the subtlety thing again, because if you watch his first film, Masan, so in Masan, not everything is direct.
Yes.
Like it's embedded within layers. Like let's say the caste issue or the poverty issue or anything else. Problems raised inside the film are not upfrontly shown. But
It's not in your face.
It's not in your face, yeah. But I think here consciously he's tried to do that every time.
I agree. Which is also another thing that I found pretty annoying about this movie.
Maybe the scene where he also goes to this Babu ka office to ask कि result कब आएगा.
The police recruitment
so,
thing.
I mean, again, that scene is very, very direct. I mean, the way the guy kind of converses or tackles.
This is something I realized on my second watching, that this guy, the government employee, the way his expressions change, where, you know, I think just leaving it there would have been enough.
Yeah, but he wanted to show you two sides there, I feel. So one aspect was it, like the first time where he asked his name, he said, मेरा नाम चंदन कुमार है.
कुमार ही
लिखते हैं.
Yeah.
Then that guy points out at him, thinking, कुमार क्या आगे क्या?
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to reveal his identity as a Dalit. So he shows him कि मैं ब्राह्मण हूँ.
Yeah.
Then the other Babu guy starts digging in. ब्राह्मण में क्या गोत्र है तुम्हारा? उसमें क्या सब कास्ट है तुम्हारा? He answers that. And once that's completed, and somehow Chandan feels कि I've convinced this guy कि मैं ब्राह्मण हूँ करके. तो then the Babu guy points out saying कि अरे यार हमारे लोग जनरल लोगों को ही कितनी तकलीफ है, साले सब रिजर्व वाले खा जाते हैं हमारे सीट वगैरह. ठीक है. And then somehow the conversation shifts to the other thing where he pinpoints कि जनरल वालों का भी दोष है. तो in a way I felt कि that scene showcases कि इंडिया में जनरल में रहना भी एक बुरी चीज है. If you are in a reserved category, that is also problematic.
No, wait, hold on. I feel on this, my opinion, my not so expert opinion, is the problem with the system. Again, अगर एक सीट के लिए 10,000 लोग एग्जाम लिख रहे हैं, it's a systematic problem. And the system wants you to think, if you are general, if you are from the upper caste, the system wants you to think it is because of those. And you know, if you are a Dalit, if you are from any of these lower castes, or if you are from any of the minorities, the system wants you to think it is because of them. Right?
The pinpointing.
You know, there's this meme that's been doing a lot of rounds on Instagram lately, where there's a guy in you know, the hard hat that construction workers wear, the high visibility jacket and all. He's sitting on one side of the table. He has a plate and he has a cookie on the plate. There's some immigrant on that side who has nothing. Like the table that side is blank, empty, there's nothing. There's a billionaire on this side, and he's telling this guy, the construction worker, that, you know, that immigrant, he wants to steal your cookie. And the billionaire, he has like a truckload of cookies behind him. Yeah, this is whoever, either the minorities or the lower castes or whatever, that is the upper castes or whatever, and this is the system.
Yeah, but
the system wants you to believe that, you know, he wants to steal your cookie while having all the fucking cookies.
Yeah, but that again is the problem, right? In a country like ours, I mean, I feel politicians are the only reason why there is a divide amongst our own people.
Even today, almost 80 years after independence, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
and that scene, I think, signifies that. I mean, there is a Sarkari Babu who's trying to tell you,
So,
like, you be either of in the categories. You be in a general category or you are a reserved kind of a guy, category guy. We will try to divide you. We will try to pinpoint you and tell you that the problem that you are facing in this
So when you
country
think about
is because
it,
of the other guy.
see, when you notice, when you think about it, there is so much done in this country by politicians to ensure that the illiteracy rate stay as high as possible. No, seriously, when you think about it, there are government schools in villages, in smaller towns where there are no teachers. Uh, or these teachers, they never show up. They never show up because the pay for teachers is really bad. Again, in India, it comes under a lot of, the state governments have a lot of say in how much the teachers will get paid. So it's not as clear because the state governments have a lot of say and we have a lot of states. But in general, in India, government school teachers, or pretty much all teachers actually, are paid like shit compared to the amount of work that they do. And I say this because my own mother is a teacher, and I have worked with or I've known a lot of teachers. Pretty much the whatever the teachers get paid in this country is shit compared to the work that they put in. Um, and that's the problem, right? Like if a teacher is paid like shit for the amount of work, then they'll not put in the amount of work, right? Which is the reason why in India most teachers are shit. I say this very confidently that a huge number of teachers that we have in this country are shit.
That's why it's important to have a educated prime minister. No?
Well, and that's the thing, right? Like your teachers are shit, your teachers are underpaid. So the people who are, I am one of them. I would love to be a teacher. For what? For like 10,000 bucks? 10,000 buys you nothing. 20,000 bucks, like 20,000 buys you nothing in this country. Yeah. It's like teachers are just paid nothing compared to the amount of effort that they're expected to put in. Teaching is not something, it's not one of those jobs where you go to a school for 6 hours and you're done. If you want to be a good teacher, you need to put in effort to prepare what you're going to teach the kids the next day, right? After those 6 hours. How are you going to do that for 20,000 bucks, 30,000 bucks, 40,000 bucks? 40,000. Well, anyway.
But currently the situation also such that, I mean, my mother, she's also a teacher, right? So in her school,
Yeah.
she like told me like few weeks back, like there's a new sir who joined,
Yeah.
and he has an engineering degree,
Okay.
and he is in a primary school.
Okay.
So my first thought was like, what is an engineer doing in a primary school? And she happened to ask him the same thing.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't have a job outside. So that's the reason I choose to get whatever I got, and I became a teacher here.
See, now that makes the problem like even bigger, like even wider. That there's a lack of jobs out there in this country, and there's a lack of quality teachers and quality education, and it's sort of the cyclic problem. If you have shit teachers and a shit education system, you're gonna have people who are educated by your standards, like by the government standards. As you said, this guy has an engineering degree. Or there's a lot of people, right, who have done not just. I know people who have done PhDs, and they cannot, and they get a lot of basic things wrong. Let's just leave it there. And then that will lead to like really well educated people on paper without any jobs, and that is going to lead to shit teachers getting paid like shit, which is going to it's a cyclic problem. It just keeps going on and on and on.
Yeah, because we focus mostly just on theory. Never taught the application.
See, this is why I said politicians in this country do so much to ensure that it stays like this.
Stays like this.
Honestly, I have no idea. I'm not the Prime Minister, Chief Minister. Hey, it's okay. Stop bullying my cats.
Yeah, he's eating my headphone here.
Just fine. You can buy a new headphone.
I just bought it.
You can buy another one. Yeah, they are spoiled cats like that. Yeah, I never stop them from anything.
Tathastu.
They get to eat everything. Hello. Yeah. Anyway, coming back. See, I'm not an expert. Again, not the Prime Minister, Chief Minister, any minister, you know. But how much time would it take for a country like India to actually truly reform its education system? To truly change things like you said, like, you know, like theory that is taught in this country, which is like 50 years old theory. Like the theory itself is like 50 years old.
Yeah, because the education system
I was
hasn't
editing a e-course.
changed since independence, right?
I was editing a e-course for a a very well-known university here in Bombay and Pune. I'm not going to name any names. They had this chapter on introduction of technology. The woman who was leading the e-course, like the presenter, complete shit. I would not listen to her if I was getting paid to listen to her. Forget like paying for that e-course. I would like not pay to, you know, like watch, like I would not watch it if I was getting paid. Genuinely, like, you know, like there's two things, right? Either you're paying me a really small amount, I don't give a shit. If you're paying me a big enough amount, I'll just get an intern to watch that e-course for me. It was that shit.
But schools and colleges force you to pay and then make you watch.
Yeah. And I was like, who's paying for this shit, man?
Who's paying me? You're forced to
What the
pay.
fuck? Like, what? And then, but this is her personal, like, pronunciation and presentation skills and her body language, which was annoying to me. But then is the masala, the content of what she was teaching, which was equally bullshit.
Pointless.
So this is intended for business students. This course is intended for business students. Keep that in mind. So business students, and they're teaching types of computers, and they go analog computer, a digital computer, and a hybrid computer. What is an analog computer? They get it completely wrong. They say these machines, you know, in ICUs and hospitals, these ECG machines, they are analog computers.
कभी 10 साल पहले
10 साल पहले भी they were not analog computers. 10 साल पहले was 2015, 2016. That's like 50 साल पहले, 100 साल पहले, bro. Like,
again, isn't this basic education?
No, when you think, no, I'm just thinking out loud. You know this guy, Alan Turing? The guy who helped break the Enigma code? I think those machines that he was using, the ones with the wheels going, I think those were analog computers.
Those were early analog.
That was like before India was a country.
This is 1940s, yeah.
That was before India's independence. Why is that being taught to like business students? It's just gonna confuse them further. You know, like they don't need that. It's like if imagine my mom asked me, "Hey, my phone is dying. What phone should I buy?" And I started telling her what the 3 nanometer process of a transistor is. No, that's bullshit. I just tell her, "Hey, listen, like just buy iPhone 17, 18, whatever is going on." That's what is good advice, right? You tell me if your mom asked you what phone should I buy. Will you explain her like the difference between a 5 nanometer lithography process and a 3 nanometer
The problem is not that this is being taught. The problem is that this needs to be taught in school. Like, it's good that kids get to know the beginning of technology and the history of it. But again, it needs to be taught to you in your younger days, not when you are actually graduating.
And no, it should also, it needs to be updated with context, right?
Yeah, it needs to be updated, but
it should be clear that no, the machines in ICU are not analog computers. They used to exist like 70 years ago, 50 years ago. Yeah, nothing like that exists anymore.
The problem here is that since this is not being taught in schools early, or when you are like, let's say 10, 12 years or 13 years, you're obviously growing up, right? since these things have not been taught to you back then,
Yeah.
they are putting this while you're in your 20s and teaching you stuff like this.
Oh, there was a lot of horseshit like that in this course that I edited, man. Like,
Vignesh-
because I believe I have fairly decent understanding of technology. I found a lot of it to be just arguably either like factually incorrect or completely irrelevant for the target audience. They were being taught. There was a chapter on the 7 layers of OSI model for a business student. For a business student, fuck, like there are techies who have literally never once made use of that OSI model information. You know, the 7 layers, the physical.
networking thing.
Why are you teaching that to a business student?
Basics of computer.
Just teach them fucking Excel. Teach them Word. Teach them PowerPoint. Teach them, you know, like there are free alternatives to this now.
Yeah, again, but this is basic education, right? You shouldn't be teaching this to a grad student.
No, I feel there are things, for example, the OSI model, that you shouldn't be teaching to literally anyone who is not studying specifically computers.
Computers or network. Yeah.
Again, if your mother comes and tells you, I need to buy a new phone, do not explain her the difference between 5 lithography, 5 nanometer lithography and 3 nanometer lithography. Is technically the lithography of the processor inside your phone is basics of how your phone works. That doesn't mean you need to teach them that. Imagine if I met Ranveer Barar. Okay, let's say we have Ranveer Barar over here on a certain invisible chair. We have invisible Ranveer Barar, and I asked him, brother, I would love to make let's say paneer tikka masala. I have no idea how to make it. Explaining the molecular structure of paneer ya pyaz ya tomato ya whatever is technically the basics of paneer, but that doesn't mean I want him to start from there. You know what I'm saying? The Indian education system. God, this is turning into a rant. Moving on. Anything else you want to add on this point?
Yeah, since we are
On this
talking-
point, the amazing education system of India.
we need better lawmakers or who are visionaries, basically, who understand what needs to be taught to a kid, right?
At what point?
Yeah.
I feel, especially after editing that egos that I was talking about, I feel like a lot of stuff is just boilerplate copy pasted instead of being really thought through. Pretty much everything that lady was teaching in that syllabus on introduction of technology is what I have studied. I'm sure even you have studied in engineering.
Yeah.
I have, because I took IT engineering, right? And something like OSI model, the 7 layers of OSI model makes a lot of sense for somebody who has picked up IT engineering. But it doesn't make any sense for a business student. And I feel it was like that because whoever was supposed to design the course of that certain specific syllabus just decided, oh, introduction to IT, cool, we'll just pick it up from wherever we have already, you know, somebody has done it, and we'll just plump it right here. And yeah, and I think that should not happen. Yes. Yeah. Moving on, one thing I felt is just 4 minutes into the movie, I realized this, by the way, that, you know, the movie kind of looks like shit.
Why do you say that?
It doesn't look very pleasing. Like, it has a very Netflix look to it. You know, the modern day digital Netflix movies, like movies which are meant to be only published online. It has that kind of look. Like the shadows are crushed. There's no details in the shadow at all. Yeah. Though you know, I looked up on IMDb. The movie is shot on a RE Alexa Mini LF. And the lenses that were used were Cook 5i.
Lenses. Yeah.
So it's not great stuff. Like, this movie was made on a very tight budget. Um, but it's still very capable hardware. But despite of that, I had this feeling, and it's shot in almost 16:9. It's a little taller than 16:9 if you look. Um,
Yeah, it's cropped, so I think it's 1.85 or something.
1.66, I think, something. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
little taller than
1.85, yeah.
It's a little taller than 16:9, but it's almost 16:9. So yeah, I just didn't like it very. In terms of like looking with my eyes, I didn't like the movie a lot. There are places where it has tried to put a film grain filter. There's the shot when they are on the bike and they're going to play cricket.
That's just
That shot has
tracking shot. Yeah.
That has a lot of film grain filter. I don't know if it's a filter. I think it's a filter. I'm not sure. It has a lot of film grain. But then there are shots which don't have film grain at all. I found it both very jarring, and I just felt that the movie had a very postmodern, like this digital, meant for streaming platform kind of a look. Again, on contrary, I watched Three Idiots just the night before. Three Idiots is shot on film, surprisingly. It's shot on film. We'll do an episode on Three Idiots pretty soon, by the way. It's shot on film. I'm sure this was towards the end of the film, to be honest. Like, this was, I'm sure, one of the last movies to be shot on film. And yeah, I see why people love film so much. It just, it's like, it's very smooth. And this, on the other hand, it looks like it is forced to be smooth.
Yeah, I think post film, at least in Indian cinema, most of the films look the same. I mean, maybe it's the filmmakers and the cinematographers, like they've stopped experimenting with digital, I think.
You can say so. Yeah.
And what do you say? Like you said, the film has a very clean look.
It's almost clinical, you know.
Yeah.
It looks like it's made in a lab.
Yeah, and again, like now, since people have more exposure to video, watching stuff online and everything, I think we've stopped experimenting. Like,
in fact, you know, this scene that we're talking about, where उसकी माँ बोलती है ये एडिया में विरासत में मिली है. If you look at the mother's close up while she's talking, it almost looks like it's AI generated. Yeah, it almost looks like it's AI generated. You know, it's like it's very well defined. It's very like there's no smoothness to it, so to speak. And then it's like they have put like the smoothness filter on top. So like and I'm sure it has a lot to do with makeup and all of that as well. Yeah, it almost looks like there was like Vaseline on her face. You know that AI image, that Vaseline look, where there's no texture on the skin. There's skin, but there's no texture on the skin. It's like too smooth, sort of.
Yeah,
I am not sure if I'm able to explain this.
This is again, I feel, one thing, because like since now everything is digital, right?
Yeah.
So you have the option of modifying your frame after it's being shot and edited. Like you have the option of color grading your footage or your frames. Earlier, when there was film, you never had the option of color grading.
Yeah.
So you had to be specific about the colors you shoot, or the kind of production design or art direction you needed in your frames. So I think those people were very specific about the colors.
And that is kind of missing now.
Yeah, that is kind of missing. So that has kind of diluted the effort, I feel.
And I feel in this movie, because the budget was low, right? The budget was, I looked up on
budget doesn't matter, I think.
No. I think in my limited experience, the first thing, that gets cut in a movie when the budget goes down is set designing.
In a way, yeah.
Is the amount of, like the props and the tiny things. If you have the kind of budget, if you have the kind of time, you can have a crew member or a small group go to something like Chor Bazaar and just look for props. But when the budget goes away, that is one of the first things that gets cut off, right? You cannot anymore send somebody with a credit card to Chor Bazaar and be like, "Ja, ji le apni zindagi."
Yeah, but in a film like this, again, the production design was very like minimalistic, right?
Yes, it was.
Because most of it is shot in real locations.
Yes,
Most of the
yes.
setup is like whatever they had, they pulled in and they just showed. I mean, there's nothing new that had to be, I feel, created on screen.
Yes.
There were no sets actually in the film, I believe. Even the houses that were shown, like
Are real
they
houses.
look like, I mean, real houses. Maybe they might have made a set, but they've been shot on real locations. I mean, that's what I like. The factory as well, if you see.
I don't know. I feel this movie. Again, we don't know for sure. I feel it somewhere like it struggles in because it's in between. Like it is digital in a lot of it is digital. It's digitally shot.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But at the same time, it has tried to add grains. It has tried to add that softness. And at least to me, a trained eye who does video editing for a living, I can just see that a lot of that softness is just added in post, which makes it look like the worst of both worlds, basically.
Again, that comes out because we have an option to do it in post production.
Yes.
So the thing is, earlier, like before film came, or even now,
When you shoot on film, yeah.
filmmakers who shoot on film, they decide the look and feel of the film.
You have to, right? Because there
before
are
making it.
You have to, because there are films which are rated T, as in for tungsten. So those should be shot, or rather exposed, in warm lights. If you do them in daytime light, it's just gonna kind of look off, and there's no slider for the color temperature, right? You can't just change it. Similarly, there are films which are rated for daytime, D. They just have to be, if you shoot them in like artificial lighting, in like warm light, it's just not gonna come out well. So, yeah, you're right.
So I think people here don't. I mean, again, it's too much of a cost that adds up if you decide to shoot a film today on film, right? And in India, I think no one is trying to even do that because they don't have the option to do that basically in the first place.
Because the market is very
Because the
different,
market is very different here, unlike like Hollywood, where you have a Tarantino or a Nolan who have the what do you say, the privilege to shoot on film even today.
They have the clout that
Yeah.
they can walk into a production house.
Yeah.
Like Nolan can walk into a production house and be like, listen, this is the script. It gets shot on Mars. Call Elon Musk, tell him to get us the rockets. And if you as the production house, if you tell him that, can we make a set? He'll be like, no, fuck you, I'm taking it to somebody else.
So there they also, I mean, at least for Nolan, for his last few films, he's developed the IMAX technology and then gone on to shoot
You're right that IMAX has one big client. He's called Christopher Nolan.
So, but this is one thing, like I remember, like while they were shooting, I think Dark Knight back in 2008.
Yeah.
There were like 6 or 8 IMAX cameras that existed in the entire world back then.
All of them were on that set?
No. So I think he had 3 or 4 cameras on set.
Yeah.
He blew up 2 cameras.
Yeah, man, minor things, man. So, in fact, when what is this movie? The new one, the Manhattan Project one, the atom bomb. Oppenheimer. When Oppenheimer came out, I think I saw in his interview, one of his interviews, that when I'm gonna completely fuck up the quotes here, the numbers. Something in the line, I don't exactly remember. Something in the line of when he did Inception. It was a limitation of the IMAX format, the film, that it could only be, I think, 2.5 hours or something like that.
So till I think he shot, I think Tenet also.
Yeah.
So IMAX reel could run only up to, let's say, 2 hours 50 or 3 under 3 hours.
Yes.
So to shoot Oppenheimer and like project it on an IMAX screen,
yeah,
he worked with IMAX and they developed this.
Yeah, he went to
three-
them and he was like,
They're like,
invent
I'm
this
making
for
a
me.
film that's 3 hours, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I need you to update your equipments, your projectors, and the film reel
Yeah.
so that I could project it on an IMAX screen.
But
So he's doing something vague like this again.
but to be
for
honest,
Odyssey.
just for that I respect this guy a lot. Regardless of how Oppenheimer was or how Tenet was, which in my opinion was a very bad movie. I really hated watching Tenet, but I've got to respect this guy just for doing this. Just like when Oppenheimer came out, all of a sudden there were these projectionists which were being called, right? Which who knew how to operate a film projector, and there were like so few people, and there were these cases in US and Canada where they couldn't find these projectionists. They had to get somebody, and these projectors started overheating, and the movie would like shut down in the middle. You just gotta respect this guy for keeping this art form alive, so to speak. Yeah, but coming back, we've digressed a lot. Coming back, yeah, this movie in some way struggles to fit that aesthetic the usual aesthetic you expect out of a Bollywood movie. And I was thinking about it. In some ways, not the digital and the film grain thing, but in sense that it doesn't have any poppy colors or anything. It's all very dull and like mundane pastel, but in the wrong ways. Like not a beautiful pastel, but like pastel as in like everything is just like this smeared shade of brown. In some ways, that also reflects the place that it's trying to show, because a lot of Indian cities and villages are just that. They're just like a smeared different shades of brown, right? Because yeah, there's so much dust and there's so much dirt everywhere. Yeah. Spoon feeding. We're talking about spoon feeding. There's so much like subtle Bihari Bajpai. There's this part, so they get in the train, right? The train comes, they get in the train, and this guy, he says ki exam center की पहली परीक्षा तो एग्जाम सेंटर तक पहुंचना ही है, and the other guy says कि एग्जाम देने जा रहे हैं कि जंग जीतने जा रहे हैं. I was genuinely like, shut up bro, shut up. मैंने देखा you like there is this establishing shot. नहीं मतलब there is this establishing shot of the compartment, right? I'm like bro, देखा मैंने वो shot. I understood लोग बैठे हुए जमीन पे, समझ गया मैं कि भीड़ है.
That's again exposition.
Subtle Bihari Bajpai. Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of moments in this film, like
where you're just like, bro, shut up, like, samjha, okay, I got it.
And also where it feels like, I mean, the performances also kind of feel like very okay-ish and
caricaturist,
yeah,
so to speak. Caricaturist, so to speak.
In a way, थोड़ा बचकाना भी लगता है in a way.
Yeah.
Like there's one scene where these friends are like fighting, and they are like, तेरा बाप ऐसा है, तू ऐसा है, ये है.
Yeah. Where I feel, especially that scene, I feel that. एक minute, I'll just check. Yep, all good.
Continue.
I was saying कि in that scene specifically, I feel that the script writer or the scene writer could have थोड़ा और दिमाग लगाता, तो they could have probably come up with like better lines. Again, much easier for me to say from here. But
so there is one thing I like to say, कि this guy also made his first film where he had co-written Masan with Varun Grover.
Okay.
So Varun Grover like wrote the dialogues and screenplay for the first film.
Yeah.
He was not there for this film. So I think Neeraj has written the entire film, maybe the dialogue.
Again, easy for us to say from here. But I feel that yes, that scene, and there are other scenes where the dialogues could have cut deeper. Especially जो जैसा दोनों दोस्तों के बीच झगड़ा हो रहा है. In my lived experience, when there are two friends fighting, because the dirtiest secrets about each other, and you know what actually hurts.
Hurts.
There are often those lines where, there are often these things that you don't even have to finish the line. You just say something and halfway, and you realize what you've said, and he realizes what you have said, and this just that's done. Like it's over. Yeah. That way, I feel like there were a lot of lines which could have cut deeper. But again, maybe the target audience is the kind of audience disco you have to like spoon feed even even the lines.
Yeah, I think the film is also, maybe, I'm not sure, like they already knew that this film is not for the Indian audience in a way. There's not much of the people from India who are going
You know
to
what?
watch.
One thing that I loved about this movie, despite it being not made for mostly Indian audience, thankfully they have kept the movie in Hindi. There's this movie White Tiger. It's a pretty good movie, but I think we have talked about
great,
this.
actually.
I think we have talked about this.
Yeah, we've talked.
That the movie is great, but why the fuck is this guy from Jharkhand speaking in English? Just completely, like, I just cannot watch that movie with a straight face because there's a guy from a village, a mining village in Jharkhand who's speaking in English.
They have a dubbed version.
You could have just made it in Hindi and then dubbed it for the Firangis. Again, while having lunch, I was telling you this, right? Like, for some reason, Indians just want to, like, gag on white people's cocks. Like, just give me a white dick, man. Like,
but the problem
gets us horny all the time.
So the problem is the book is in English, right? And inside the book, the driver's character is speaking in English only. But the book works. If you read the book, it works. Okay. It's not problematic when it's in the form of a book. But I felt these guys forgot how to adapt a book into a movie. They felt हम उसको as it is दिखा देते.
I also didn't like the same thing in Slumdog Millionaire.
Again, it's made by
Slumdog Millionaire. Dude, just put in the effort to get a translator. It's not that hard. I will translate for you if you want to make a movie like Slumdog and you are Firangi and you cannot get Hindi. I will translate your lines for you. I'll translate everything you say for your crew for free. Pay for the cab, like my cab, and lunch and dinner. But yeah.
But again, Slumdog is again intended for a Western.
So make it in Hindi and dub it for them. There's this tool called ChatGPT. Like, you go to this website, I think it's called chatgpt.openai.com or something, or you can go to like gemini.google.com, put your entire fucking script there. It will give you a Hindi version. It will even give you a Marathi version. It will give you a Punjabi version. It will give you a Spanish version. Whatever you want. It's not that hard. I think I have always found it very see, as a filmmaker, when you are the filmmaker and I am the audience, you want me to buy into your illusion, right? You're creating a fake story, and you want me to buy into that. And I find it very illusion breaking when, for example, the driver, who's a illiterate guy from a village in Jharkhand, is speaking in English, right? I feel, it's not just about the language. It is untrue to the group of people that you're trying to show.
It's a culture thing.
Right.
Yeah.
His Hindi should be really mixed up with, I'm gonna get this wrong again, but with I don't know, whatever the local dialect of
Jharkhandism.
Right, that the Jharkhand guys have. Like, ideally, I think it would be some. I'm not sure. It would be some derivative of Bhojpuri, because Jharkhand used to be part of Bihar, right? And like, even in Bihar, there are like different dialects, right? And in everywhere. Like, I have friends. I'm sure you have noticed this, like Maharashtrians who have been born and brought up in Bombay or Pune, their Marathi is very different from people who are born and brought up in cities and towns around the Karnataka border, for example.
Yeah, there's a blend of Kannada and Marathi. Yeah.
And I feel as a filmmaker, Again, why do you make a movie like White Tiger or Slumdog?
Again, it's backed by Netflix, and the director is again not
No.
Indian.
The thing is that these movies, you're trying to sell the idea that, hey, look at this poor guy, or look at these people. Like, it's like the guy, the driver. He is sort of or even in this movie, Homebound, these two guys, they are placeholders for the Muslim minorities and the Dalits and these lower caste people, right? The oppressed, so to speak, in our country. Yeah. So when you're doing something like making this driver, for example, speak English, then how are you now doing justice to those people that you're trying to show? Yeah. I'm glad. Thank you for not making it in English. Also, subtitles is a thing. Make it in Hindi, put in subtitles. Not that hard. There's this amazing tool that I use called Premiere Pro. It's made by this little company you would have never heard about called Adobe. It does subtitles by itself. Yeah, you don't even have to put your script. Yeah, just like this software. You can get it for free for a week.
Voice to text.
No, you just put the video and it does the subtitles.
And it picks the voice.
Yeah. So like, I'm sure you've never heard about it, but does good job, man. Yeah. A funny thing I noticed, when he goes to this police, the Sarkari Babu wala scene, and he says, "Bato, bachche ko pani pilao." This office boy comes and puts the glass on the table. The glass is empty. You can't like see into it, but he just comes and he goes. If the glass was full, you would not do. Like, then the water would spill out. So like I got the feeling that the glass was empty.
Continuity issue.
It's not a continuity issue. Just nobody
Purposely done.
Or maybe not purposely done. Who knows? Maybe the director said that have the glass and the water ready, and the guy had
AD forgot to.
Yeah, the ADHD just slipped out of his mind. He was like me, things slip out of my mind all the time. And then by the time the short time came, he was like, "Ah, shit, okay, glass." And the director probably didn't notice it then. He saw it in the edit and he was like, "Fuck it, man. We don't have the kind of budget to reshoot this. Whatever."
AI का budget होगा ना? धर्मा है.
I don't know. Maybe he was like, "Yeah, fuck it, whatever. कोई नहीं देखेगा यार." What else did I notice? Oh yeah, the reservation energy in that, like the hatred this guy, the Sarkari Babu, as you called him, he has for reservation is pretty crazy. It is actually something I've seen a lot of people have in this country. If I saw this online that a lot of us, the upper caste Hindus, we face reservation or caste for the first time when we apply for, let's say, engineering college or something, and we don't get admission because we are general and somebody else gets because they are SC/ST. And the story that I saw on Instagram goes that my friend, he faced this and he was like, "What a shit country. As soon as I finish my engineering, I'll go abroad and I'll never turn back." And that was like 20 years ago, and he has gone abroad and he has never turned back. And if you find caste this frustrating, when you face this once, when you are in your late teens, by the time you go for a college, then imagine how frustrated these kids feel who are from lower caste and they face this like every fucking day for as long as in their lives that they can remember. Yeah, again, I feel that the whole reservation thing, hatred for reservation thing comes back to the cookie meme that we are talking about.
But again, the reservation as a reservation needs to be, I think, modified, right? Like it's been how many years? Since 47 now. It's been almost like 60, almost 80 years. So I think we were speaking about this
Yeah.
I mean, it's been close to almost now 80 years since we've got independence, right? We'll be completing 80 years, I guess.
Almost 80, yeah. We are almost there, huh?
27, we're almost there. So the way we look at reservation, I guess, needs to be changed. I mean, the main aspect or purpose of reservation or why it was bought into in the first place was to bring the backward society or the minorities that existed in our country to a level where they become educated and get into the workforce of our country.
Give them a better opportunity.
Better opportunities. But now, like, almost like 2 to 3 generations of these section of people have gone through that reservation thing. They've developed, they've also started to get educated in a way. And most of these people who also fall into these minorities or in these reserved section of society are also privileged in a way. Like, they are also financially stable. They also have a decent lifestyle. So maybe the reservation aspect needs to be looked and kind of.
But isn't that a very small percent of the population who is actually now well-to-do and does not require reservation, so to speak?
I don't think so, yeah, in a way. I don't think
I feel it is still a very small percent of the Dalit and backward class or the lower castes of Hindus who have, as you said, they've been through the education system for 2-3 generations now. Honestly, that is so. So let me break it down for you. 3 generations ago, India did not exist. My nani was born in Jan of 1947. That's 3 generations. Right, that is 3, me, my mom and my nani. So when you consider like that, and also 3 generations is not a lot of time to actually change the situations of the families. Again, this is a very privileged upper caste Hindu take ki ab to sab theek ho gaya na, ab to school gaye na. That doesn't change shit. And that might sound very harsh, and if my upper caste Hindu listeners are offended, please, I request you, I beg you to hold your horses for a bit. Because when you think about it, if I am the first generation that is educated, because I know I have friends, I know people whose in their family, in whose family they are the first generation that is educated and has a stable white collar job, right? For them, because a huge amount of what we consider culture or cultural upbringing happens when we are kids. And at that point in their life, they were still struggling to, they were still under the stress of finding a sarkari naukri. Their cultural outlook is very different than ours. Before we just started shooting, I was telling you I finished reading Crime and Punishment. They would have no idea who Dostoevsky is. Not because they are stupid, not because they are incompetent, but because it is those childhood years, those growing up years when you develop a taste, so to speak, for all of this. Right? Like you and me, we have read a lot of books growing up because we come from a family where we didn't require to go and work. So a generation or two actually is not enough time to really elevate, like really uplift the masses. And again, keep in mind that the backward castes that went to school and got white collar jobs are in single percentage in this country. Even today, there are places in this country, in this amazing Bharat, where backward class children are still not allowed to go to school. They are still beaten. In UP, there is this famous case which has been suppressed, where a Dalit girl was raped and murdered, and the police cremated her body before letting her parents and her family to even see the dead body. And I'm not saying that reservation is perfect, or there is this there is this utopia awaiting us somewhere. Like there is, India in general is a very misogynist society. We are not very good to our women, or we are not as good as we can be. Rape and murder also happens to women who are white, women who are of upper caste, women who wear burqa, women who don't wear a burqa, right? This is the sad truth of our country, but it is also equally sad truth that, you know, like atrocities against Dalits and other backward castes is still very rampant, right? So I hear you that reservation needs to be improved, but we cannot say that, you know, because we've had reservation for almost 80 years, now things have changed. 80 years is one lifespan. 80 years is give or take one lifespan. And as I said, you know, if in my family I was the first person going to school, getting a white collar job, I cannot be the first person going to school and getting a white collar job. Like it's not impossible, but it is very difficult. Right? Like these guys in the movie did go to schools, but they didn't get a white collar job. Oh, in some ways,
again, because
Shoaib is the name. Shoaib gets it because he is in a air conditioned office. But yeah. You see what I'm trying to say? Ki even if I get a white collar job, I would need to build a house for my parents. गांव में घर बनाना है is shown in this movie, and is something I've heard from a lot of people, right? गांव में घर बनाना है. हमें तो नहीं बनाना है क्योंकि हमारे गांव में my parents, your parents already
have a house.
Either have a house or they have enough money to make a house.
Yeah, again, it's just minute efforts every generation has to
now, today, right now, your dad or my dad gets into an accident. It's not a big deal. Well, it's a big deal. Like I would be running.
We can recover.
But no, it's not a big deal as in like probably your dad has an insurance. My dad used to be a government employee, and for as long as he's alive, within certain criteria, his medical expenses are taken care of. That would not be true if I was the first generation in my family getting a white collar job. So again, we have, you know, at a very early stage in this podcast, I told you that a lot of people just want 5-minute answers. That is sort of a 5-minute breakdown कि अरे यार अब तो 80 साल से reservation है ना. 80 साल is one lifetime. 80 साल का reservation would be enough that a child born in ideal conditions, a child that was born right after India's independence, was, let's say, Dalit, was able to go to school and finish the schooling and finish the college and get a job, and that child now would have grown up, would be an adult, and would have been able to send his or her children to school. Right? So there's still a long way to go. If you see what I'm saying, you know why reservation has not benefited people as much as we think it has yet. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like in the film as well. I mean, if you see both these characters, I mean, both like Chandan and Shoaib, the fact that even like they also even have the thought of giving a government exam and getting a job, government job. They have this idea only because of the fact that their families support them in a way. They've planted that seed in a way कि we'll work, you at least give this exam and become a sarkari.
See, this is also where privilege shows up in some way, right? Like, would you take a government job?
No.
Exactly. Why the fuck would I take up a government job? But my dad was a government employee, right? So, in some ways, that is privilege showing up. Like, yeah.
Every generation needs to put in small efforts. It's not that every generation might take a massive leap or directly reach from A to Z. Every generation.
Yeah, not everybody's dad is Dhirubhai.
Yeah.
Hey, at least people don't hate my dad. So, I've like never been at a place and nobody has been like, your dad was such a piece of shit. No, nobody has told me that ever. Yeah. There, we're not going. Let's not go there. But yeah, if my dad was Dhirubhai, maybe somebody would have told me that your dad is such a piece of shit. Anyway, let's not go there. But yeah, you're right that for most people, for most families, you have to build it up slow, one brick at a time, so to speak. And that's the thing about upliftment of not just backward classes or of the Dalit or of any certain group of people. It is true about the upliftment of an entire nation, of the entire species, that it is a intergenerational mission. Like it's an
It's
intergenerational
like a
program.
societal change. Like societal change
It just
doesn't
takes time.
happen
You look at India as a
in a
country,
day.
right? You look at India as a country. When we got independent in 47, a life expectancy was 30 years, right? 80 something percent people were illiterate. And today, you and me and a lot of people, we complain a lot that, the government needs to do more. We're just talking the education system is just shit. Our illiteracy is still at around 40%. But you look at it, we went from 80 something to 40 something. There is no magic wand, so to speak. There is no easy way, right? It is a slow and continuous process. With that said, watching this movie the second time, I got this feeling it is very boring to watch a second time. I really struggled to finish the movie the second time.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Look,
Okay.
I watched it the second time. Like, I felt it could become a bit boring. Yeah, like it's like a 1 or 2 time watch. You can't
The
like it doesn't have
rewatchability.
the essence of a movie that can be like watched 10 times, 15 times, 20 times. It doesn't have that
So my next question
quality.
is: this rewatchability of the movie, is this a good thing or is it a bad thing?
It's a good thing.
That the movie is not rewatchable?
No, that a movie can be rewatched multiple times.
Okay.
Like
But
there are
don't you
very few
feel?
movies like that, right?
But don't you feel that this movie is not as rewatchable because it is not very exaggerated? It tries to stay true to what it's trying to show,
That's one reason.
and that kind of makes it, as we discussed, a little boring to watch a second time.
No, that's one thing. Second thing is like there's too much again, like you said, like there's too
Spoon
much
feeding.
exposition and spoon feeding. Subtle.
Subtle Bihari Bajpayee.
हाँ, Subtle Bihari.
He is not in the cast.
Subtle Bihari Vajpayee नहीं है film में.
He's not there.
So when if you get everything the first time you watch in a movie, like many mainstream commercial films, like you understand everything the very first time, then the rewatchability factor kind of decreases.
And I think because of all the
Yeah.
spoon feeding,
Yeah.
there is a lot that you get on the very first watch.
Yes, yes. So you tend to watch only those movies again and again where you try to like find something new every time you watch. I think those films.
It's a lot of fun to watch movies like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think I've told you, I've watched Grand Budapest Hotel a lot. Like probably 20, 30 times by now. One reason is because it is sort of an easy, chill movie to watch. It's not as intense as, for example, Oppenheimer. Grand Budapest Hotel, in my opinion, is a movie that you can start while you're having dinner, finish your dinner, go wash your like hands, your plates, whatever, come back, watch it for another 30-40 minutes till you start, dozing off, and then shut down and go to sleep. So it's chill like that. It's lightweight like that, so to speak. And at the same time, as you said, I think there's a lot that I have noticed by watching it multiple times. While the story being simple enough to follow while you are half asleep.
Yeah.
And
Because again, Budapest Hotel, it's a very detailed movie, right?
it is incredibly detailed.
It's incredibly detailed. Like there's a lot of subtext to the movie. So I feel a lot of subtext is there in this movie as well. But again, like there are tons of topics that's that is being discussed throughout the movie.
So
Like there's a Hindu-Muslim conflict going on.
yes, there
Then
is,
there is this untouchability thing that happens with his mother
which
and in
is
the school.
which is really sad. Which is really sad. But you know what is sadder? It's true.
Yeah, it's true.
It happens even today with people. You and you see how hard his mother works to get that.
Get that out. Yeah.
And as a fellow entrepreneur, I feel that, like I'm a freelancer. It's really nice when I find work like that. It's a retainer work, right? It's a retainer work. Every freelancer, every entrepreneur loves retainer work. And then somebody kicks you out. Not because your work is not good, not because you don't meet standards, simply because you were born in that house instead of this house. That's it. Like essentially, there is no difference, right? So this movie does bring up a lot of these things that you're talking about. For example, to you or me, to me, caste is what? Just like you're born in that house instead of this house. It's like my neighbor next door behind that wall could have a different caste, right? We have a neighbor down on the third floor. They are Muslims, right? Like what is the difference? You could just be born on the third floor and you could be a Muslim, and you could be born in this house and you will be a Hindu, and probably on the 8th floor or whatever we have a Christian person living there. To me, I don't see a difference. Similarly, the whole money thing, like when you watch the movie and you watch, especially when the lockdown has happened and these guys are struggling to have food. It's like, so we all struggled, everybody struggled during the lockdown. But our struggle was a very champagne problem, so to speak, right? Like our struggle was Swiggy, Zomato deliver nahi kar raha hai. We can't have pizza. People had to like cook every day because their maids couldn't come, right? Which when you put in the context is such a champagne problem to have. And these guys literally did not have food, or literally didn't have the money to buy food.
Also, they were locked in a different city,
Which a lot of us were as well.
away from their family.
Which a lot of us were as well, but to me it highlights that like when we all as humans we agree that money is a made up construct, right? It's a fucking it's nothing. Like it's we just all decided that it will be a thing and it's a thing. It's imaginary, right? So when we all know that it's an imaginary human construct, it's not like a banana. Like a banana is a physical product, right? Like if I eat the banana, it's gone. But if I spend 100 rupees, it's not gone. You see what I'm saying? So if we all agree that this is a fucking imaginary human made up construct, then why should that be used as something to prevent people from accessing something as basic as food? Because somebody being alive is not a made up fucking construct, right? It's not imagination. You are alive or you are dead. If you don't eat, you die. If we all agree that money is a fucking imaginary thing, then why the fuck are we using that as something to prevent people from getting food, which is very real, the lack of which leads to people dying, which is also very fucking real.
Right.
Yes, I'm completely calm. Yeah, I'm not angry at all. Yes, which are, as you said, a lot of topics on which the movie touches. But then I also feel this movie is relatively short. And the problems in our society are not short; they are anything but short. So I think that is where the thing happens, right? As I said earlier, that the movie touches on a lot of these topics, but doesn't go deep enough. It doesn't. I think it just lacks the runtime to explore these topics in any kind of depth. In any kind of in any kind of depth.
The reason I feel also it doesn't delve too much into these issues is like because if you see throughout the movie,
Yeah.
it's just these characters experiencing these issues on a daily basis. Like if you see even in the office scene where Shoaib is kind of promised this
Sales job.
and he's called for this evening cricket match that's happening.
Or the screening of the cricket match.
Yeah, the party, in a way, there's a party that's being hosted by the employers. and he goes there, and you see this Islamophobic guy
The
who's
guy who's been Islamophobic from day
yeah,
one.
day one, the HR guy,
Yeah.
and he's been
What are the chances he votes for BJP, man? I was just thinking, what are the chances that like he has,
Hmm.
yeah, like he votes for BJP, he has a picture of
He's
Modi in
like
his
a
bedroom.
perfect right wing guy.
Yeah.
So he's been subtly again throwing these comments, labeling him this Pakistani, whatever, whatever, whatever. And towards the end of that scene, the Shoaib kind of breaks out
Yeah.
because he feels that I'm actually being insulted
You
for
know what I don't
being a
like?
Muslim. Hmm.
So this typical stereotypical right winger guy, he sucks, he's shit. I fucking hate this guy, definitely. But you know what I didn't like just as much.
Hmm.
There's this team leader guy who tells him ki I can get you a sales job. The guy who's been a little sympathetic towards Shoaib. I hate that this guy also doesn't stand up. He says कि होता है बहुत पी रखी है. I'm like no.
Yeah, the
Here's the thing about the
main boss, no?
no, not just the bald guy, the main
bald guy,
boss.
huh.
I mean
Yeah,
the other guy with glasses who is like the team leader of sorts. He's helping him. They all defend this Islamophobic guy. They are like कि बहुत पी रखी है होता है ये वो. No man, this guy is Islamophobic. That is the problem. The problem is not daru, man. I fucking hate it when people badmouth alcohol. Yeah, I love my vodka, man. I love my wine. Just don't say shit about my wine. Wine doesn't make people say stupid things. It just like makes people say what they think.
Yeah, but that's the pattern throughout the movie. Like he doesn't like throughout the movie, the director or the filmmaker doesn't provide solutions to each of these situations as well, right?
No, what I was trying to come to is that this kind of shit, this kind of Islamophobia exists because people are Islamophobic, yes, but also because people who are not refuse to take a stand. Refuse to say that, hey, motherfucker, listen, shut the fuck up. This is bullshit. Take it somewhere else, please. Like, if I was that bald motherfucker, the bald boss guy, I would have fired him. I would be like, listen, I don't like working with pieces of shit. You're a piece of shit. Please, darwaza udhar hai. And it's not just in this movie. It is in like real life. I've seen this. Like a lot of the times, and not just so. These issues are not in a vacuum. They're all connected to each other. Islamophobia, misogyny. I've seen this on the road, man. Like there was this woman and her child, I don't know, 5-6 year old child. They were having a fight with a rickshawala. I'm sure something has gone wrong. People have all the reasons to fight with rickshawalas. And rickshawalas have all the reasons to fight with people. So they were having a fight. And there were at least like 10-15 men who were just standing there in a semicircle watching it happen. And the 5-6 year old child was definitely very scared. And I was like, what are you watching, man? Like, either you give a fuck, so like, go help them solve it, or you don't give a fuck, so just continue driving on. It's also sort of there's this scientifically studied phenomena called the bystander effect, which is where basically something happens and people just, like, they all think wo karega. Yeah. So, the bystander effect is a huge reason why a lot of shit like this exists in the world, because instead of taking a stand, we just try to downplay it, or we just wait till somebody else does it. Yeah. And that is what makes me really pissed about the team leader guy who was being sympathetic so far. I'm like, you clearly have a heart. Like he clearly has a heart,
He's
right?
also of this thought that if he speaks for this guy, he might get fired.
But like, God, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Because again,
But again, I don't see what you're saying. I don't see what you're saying because, like, so you can fire me, hence, like, this is the kind of shit that gets Hitler into power, okay? Like, this is the kind of shit how you end up with, like, Hitler or Mussolini running your country, because you just, like, shut up because, oh, what if this guy fires me? Yeah. Yeah, fuck you, fire me. I don't want to work with you anyways. I'll find another job somewhere where,
But
you
he
know,
has a kid, he has EMIs, he has a
we don't know
family.
that. In this movie, we don't know that. But yeah, I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does. And yeah, that's another reminder to me personally that, you know, it's like it's not always that black and white. Maybe he wants to, but as you said, he has kids, he has EMIs. Yeah. You know, maybe
Again,
his wife wants to buy an iPhone 17 Pro, Max, Ultra, 1 terabyte, whatever.
but again, this is a very realistic approach. Let's say if this was a very mainstream commercial film, a guy like this would have popped up कि तूने इसको कैसे बोल दिया?
No, I'm not.
And he would like start thrashing the other
No, I'm
guy.
not expecting that. I'm not expecting, you know, you to become like Salman Khan, but I'm just expecting, you know, like, hey, listen, so this happened to me, right? There's this restaurant nearby. Maybe you've been there, I don't know. There's a restaurant nearby. So when we were looking, me and my dad were looking for flats. We went there we looked a few flats in that, on the same street, and then we went there for lunch. And there's this guy who works as a waiter over there. He is either barely 18, the legal age to work there, or he's below that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. No, I don't know for a fact. He looks like a very young chap. He barely has any beard growing on his face. Yeah, very, very young chap. We're sitting there. This is office hour. This is lunch hour rush. And you know, there's a lot of offices and a lot of banks over there. So there's this group sitting there. There's two girls and this one guy. And they're not having a good time. Okay, this girl is on a call with somebody on the phone, asking him to return her money, him or her to return the money. I presume him, because eventually this guy snatches away the phone. And he starts shouting कि पैसे है नहीं तो उस टाइम पे क्यों ले लिया था, लेने टाइम सोचना चाहिए था, etc etc. And they are not having a good time, and it is rush hour time, so it's very crowded, right? It's like packed. So this guy, he goes and asks कि क्या order, what is your order, क्या order कर रहा है, right? And these guys are a little pissed क्योंकि पहले भी they had to wait like 10 minutes to get the menu and all, right? So they're clearly pissed. This guy goes क्या order करना है, and the guy in this group is pissed. He just goes कि 4 रोटी ले आओ, एक काम करो. Okay, and with a lot of anger and frustration. And this kid, he says, the waiter, he says कि आप उसके साथ कुछ सब्जी नहीं लोगे. तो sorry, and उसके साथ क्या सब्जी क्या लोगे? And he's like नहीं सब्जी नहीं चाहिए हमको. Right, and then this guy is like नहीं sir. And before he can finish his sentence, this guy starts shouting again कि तुमने इतना देर लगा दिया है, हमें बस रोटी ले दो, तुम कुछ कर नहीं रहे हो, it's taking too much time, हम तो उठ के जाने वाले थे. ये वो उसको सुना रहा है. So I get up, I go, and I say this very nicely कि I understand you're having a shit day. I completely understand you're having a shit day. But आप इस पे क्यों गुस्सा निकाल रहे हो? इसकी थोड़ी गलती है. मतलब neither does he cook, neither is he actually punching the order. Like there is like a floor manager who is actually telling you go to this table, go to that table. So I understand you're having a shit day. I understand that you're pissed. But इसकी गलती नहीं है ना, आप इस पे क्यों गुस्सा निकाल रहे हो? Right? If you really want to shout on someone, go to that like floor manager and tell कि भाई मैं कब से बैठा हूँ, कोई order क्यों नहीं लेने आ रहा है? Right? And that's that. That's that. That is the only conversation. This guy doesn't tell me anything. I don't tell him anything after that. I walk back to my table and I finish my paneer. ठीक है. And वो जो waiter था, he still greets me very nicely and all of it. Wow. After digressing so long, all I'm trying to say is कि when you see shit like this happening, I don't expect you to turn into Salman Khan.
Just take a stand.
And you can take it very nicely, na? पहले I didn't say that don't do this, right? I पहले acknowledge कि I see you're having a shit day. And you know सबके साथ होता है, right? Like everybody has a shit day. Yeah, but like don't punch this guy. Like that will not solve your day, na? So yeah, like sometimes it's just like that, you know, like because very often I've also realized when we as humans are angry, we just want validation. Right? When I might not be angry that, you know, like this glass is shit. Right? I'm just angry that somebody validate that, this glass is not what I was expecting. I was promised 6 glasses, there's only 2 glasses. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it's not about the thing. It's about like, I want I want somebody to agree with me. Even I have noticed this sometimes, it's like, I remember this job that I was telling you. There's this place called Teen Hat Naka in Thane.
Worst place to be.
Oh man, that was like, I used to cross that every day. Right? So one day I'm coming back, I have to take a left. And Teen Hat Naka, I don't know what is the fuck logic.
There's multiple.
No, there's like 6 roads there.
6 lanes. Huh?
No, wait, there is 1.
6 to 7 lanes.
5, 6, 7. There are 8 roads over there. Okay, technically you can say like there's 6 roads over there. Fine.
With a complicated traffic system.
It's extremely complicated. Whatever. I had to take a left, but not the first left, the second left. Okay, and I'm at the signal. I'm the first vehicle, and the signal turns green, and I just go. Okay, the signal turns green. I go. I have to take a left. Fine, and there's right before me, right before my signal, the previous signal which was green, which has just turned red, a car jumped that red. Okay, and he wanted to take what was my first left, but I was taking the second left. So we are kind of going in the same direction, but I was not expecting to see him. Right, I did not see him till it was very late. And I hit that car. Like I had applied both my brakes. I was on Ather. Ather is a phenomenal scooty. Front disc brakes, rear disc brakes. It's incredibly safe. I hit him at very slow speeds, probably below 20. Nothing happened. I just like got down. I picked up. I was at such low speeds there was not even a scratch. I got up. I park it, and I just lost my shit. I'm completely pissed. I've worked the whole day at this toxic work culture place, and now somebody's jumped the signal and I have hit them because they jumped the signal. It's like, man, I'm gonna kill this guy. I was like, I am gonna kill this guy. In my head I have rehearsed it. In my head I was gonna say, what the fuck, dude? That's how I was gonna start. And I go to the driver's side window. I knock. I don't knock, I actually bang. The window rolls down, and before I can say anything, the guy goes, I am so sorry. And you know what? I was rehearsing, what the fuck, dude? And you know what came out of my mouth? What the fuck, dude? And he was like, oh, my wife is not well. We are just rushing to the hospital. And I'm really, really sorry. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's all. Never mind, bro. Just be careful, huh?
Sensible guy.
हाँ, and yeah, like, भाई मैं rehearse करके आया था कि भाई माँ चोद देंगे. And he rolls on, he's like, sorry. And I'm like, I actually told him like I stammered as I was like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah, and yeah. So very often, it's not that I'm angry at what you did. I just want you to acknowledge like what you did. Yeah.
People often don't acknowledge, right? We like pull back every time.
Yeah. Coming back. So the team leader guy that we're talking about, right? Who offers him this job at the sales. He offers like you're good at sales, you can do sales. So that guy is your average leftist, you can say, your average liberal in India. And after he's offered this, the first thing Shoaib tells him ki, thank you so much for considering me. And it is such a big deal for him. And that's when you realize ki for a lot of these people, for the lack of a better word, for a lot of these people, even the opportunity to being offered a job like this is such a big deal. Right? Like to the team leader guy, whatever his name is, he was
bald guy, no?
No, not the bald
other
guy.
one.
The other guy, the guy who offered him ki वो sales के लिए जाता है. Right. So So to him, he was just doing what was the obvious right thing to do. He sees somebody in the company who has a good sales instinct, who can do a good job at sales, but is not doing that currently. So why not promote him? Right. So that was the obvious thing for him to do. But for this guy, what is his name? Shoaib. It is such a big deal. right? And बाद में when he doesn't get that, he does do a very drastic thing to get that job, na?
Yeah, he just
Steals
the purifier, water
and goes and
purifiers,
sells
and
it.
makes 8 orders in a day. So for him also, Shoaib also, it's the first time I think inside within the film someone kind of validates or acknowledges his skill set.
Yeah.
And that too, he's also overwhelmed because he doesn't have a degree and he's so easily gotten into the sales wala thing.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Huh. It is true that in the arc of the movie, this is the first time anybody really acknowledges his
So
potential, so to speak.
So there's one more perspective to it. Like say, let's assume Shoaib, like he's not educated. I mean, he doesn't have a graduate degree there in the current scenario. What if he was a graduate, he had a degree to him, and then he kind of got that job, and then there would have been a scenario like a humiliation in that space. Would in that scenario would he have left that job? Was it easier for him to take that decision of leaving that job on the spot when he was being humiliated just because he didn't have a degree, or
I think it was not to do with degree. I think that was
like he didn't have a formal education?
No. I think it was not to do with that. I think throughout his working at that office, he's been putting up with a lot of this, a lot of the taunts, a
Like
lot of the
constantly with that guy.
yes, and eventually this was his breaking point. This is when he was like, you know what, fuck you, man. Yeah. Cool. Anything else you want to add? Anything to wrap up?
So yeah, so like throughout the movie, not at the first watch, at least during the secondary watch, one thing that like kept bothering me right from the start of the movie was these two kids constantly like running away from the education aspect. Like both of them didn't want to go to college and get educated or like get graduated and follow a very what do you say, a very linear form of life.
Okay.
They both I like from the start of the movie both are like kind of running away from that aspect, and like in between, like the character like Janvi Kapoor ka jo character hai,
Yeah.
he's the one who like in that wedding scene brings that
explains
out,
him, yeah.
explains him, tells him that my father has been a lineman throughout his year just because he never got educated. But I want to break that path. I want to become a postgrad. I even want to do a PhD. I want to get properly educated so that I move upwards in life and I don't get stagnated in a very in the same thing, doing the
I
same thing
see.
all my life. And that's what like, but it falls in place towards the end, like even after Chandan dies, and there's one shot eventually towards the end where you see Shoaib actually studying in college.
Yeah. So in that way, yes, I agree that, in that way, the closing shot especially, it sort of leaves this message that only education can really change
That's the
things.
only thing that will empower you, be it like from wherever you come. That's the only thing that's going to empower you and take you ahead in life.
Yes, I see that the movie was trying to say that, and maybe like this question I'm about to ask is coming from a place of privilege. But do you think really going to a college and getting a degree is going to change anything?
So not just getting
Because
a
no,
degree,
I'm asking
not
this.
just getting
No,
a
no, no.
degree.
I'm asking this because there are so many graduates, there are so many engineers, there are so many doctors who have done MBBS who don't have a fucking job.
But now
I know at least two of my friends, two women, who are who have done MBBS. They have no jobs.
But
because
again,
it doesn't
that's
make
a
sense. You know, they
very
can go and work in a government hospital, or they can go and work as a nurse and get paid 10-15,000, or they can just chill at home. This is literally what one of them told me. You know, like, I'm just preparing for, I don't know, she told me something. Yeah, you can tell I slept through biology classes. She told me she's preparing for something. She's like, yeah, I can go work as a nurse at, I don't know, she named some reputed hospital, and I'll get paid like 16-17,000 something. Or I can just prepare for this and like hang out with people, you know. And I was like, yeah,
So
okay, I
now,
see what you're
so
saying.
now that's like once you like cross at least, I say high school, like 12th grade, if you cross 12th grade, you're like almost like 17, 18 when you enter undergrad.
16, 17, yeah.
Yeah, so by this time, I think you've developed your own sensibilities. You are almost into that maturity, adolescence wala phase. So now, post that, I think whatever direction a particular individual takes is a very is what sets you for the rest of your life, right? Now, when you're 17, 18, you have the choice of like whiling your time, not being interested in whatever skill set or education you want to take.
No, it's not that, right? What I'm trying to say is ki in this country, in this not so perfect system, is even getting a graduation, like an engineering degree or
It
anything like,
depends, na, again.
is that
It
even, you know,
depends
like,
again.
see, for these people, again, like these people, for the lack of a better word, but for like people, you know, in this,
Anyone.
no. For you and me, for a lot of us, we still have the privilege of being like, you know, I don't like this. Maybe I should do that. My soul is in, let's say, philosophy. But for a lot of the people who are not as privileged, studying is so that they can get a job. You see what I'm saying?
Again,
Like, studying
that's
is
again a mindset thing, na. So
no,
we've
studying
seen.
is so that they can earn a livelihood. And if you're telling me
agree.
engineering, I'm just saying engineering because I dropped out of engineering. I have a lot of friends who are engineers, and a lot of them don't have jobs or have jobs which are completely irrelevant to what they studied in their college. So, does it even make sense?
But that's again a very individualistic thing here. Matlab ki it depends on what you are choosing, what you want to do. Like we've seen good examples, like in our own country, like we have Abdul Kalam, who was our president at one point of time. So he's also come from a very small background, from a very small coastal village in India.
Yeah,
He studied hard. He had certain aspirations. He got into whatever DRDO or the Air Force thing and everything. He eventually went on to become a president. So he was a visionary in himself. So again, it's a very individualistic thing of how you shape your own life, what you choose to do with your own education, with your own skill sets in life, right?
No, but my question still remains. My question is not that. My question is not what is individually in your hand, which definitely there's a lot. Right, you can to a huge degree, to a great extent, you know, determine your direction and your life. But what about the system?
So
You know, what about that part which is not in your hand?
So,
Like, it is true that, you know, last academic year, 40% of graduates from IIT Bombay, like, which is IIT, which is one of the most prestigious colleges in the country, IIT Bombay, which is one of the most prestigious colleges, like prestigious IITs in this country. So essentially, you know, the creme de la creme, or whatever the quote goes, like, 40% of them didn't get a job. Right? So it's like, yes, you can do a lot of hard work and you can get into an IIT, but even if that, you know, leaves 40% of you out, what is the point?
But I think like the idea of education to just get a job, like doing an undergrad or a postgrad, just to get a well-paying job,
Yeah.
I think that itself is a very wrong approach. I think maybe that has been like given to us systematically.
But then again, I think what you are saying comes from our position of privilege.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of the people in this country go to a school, go to a college, or even in this movie, like Janvi Kapoor's character, she wants to get educated. So, as you said, so that she doesn't, you know, end up doing the same thing her whole life. right? Like they want to go to a school or to a college to earn a livelihood, right? And that is what I'm asking, that if uh, doing that still does not buy you a livelihood, then I think we as a society really need to like reflect. Yeah, yeah.
But then again, usme bhi there are like two things, na. One is like buying a livelihood, obviously,
Yeah.
and the other is like also doing what you want to do with your own skill or skill sets you've developed
No,
while
that is not
other.
the other option, right? For a lot of the people who we are talking about in this case, the other option is, you know, working as a chotu at a chai ka tapri since they were like 5. That's a guaranteed income, right?
Yeah, that's a guaranteed income, but again,
Again, you know, like working like the as the office boy in a company. Again, that's guaranteed income, right? Versus what, being 17 and going to a college, spending money on college tuition and books and whatever, and also the lost opportunity cost of, you know, not making money. They say throughout the movie, Shoaib has this alternative of going to Dubai. So when he goes to college, he's not going to Dubai.
correct.
And when you put it in yourself in those shoes, I would any day go to Dubai.
Yeah, but again,
You know why? Because that allows me to make money. And unfortunately, as much as I hate it, in this capitalistic system, money buys you dignity. Money buys you respect.
it does buy.
Your same relatives and your same friends will respect you a lot more when you make 1 lakh, 2 lakh a month versus when you make 20,000 a month.
It does, but again, if you see Shoaib ka character, so he also believes that I don't want to go to another country, work there, and
Oh, no, that's just an example. But like,
Yeah.
anyway, like he could go to Mumbai and work. You know what I'm saying? Like he can
but
go.
again, it feels very like put on him. Like there's a scene with his father also,
When
where he's like reluctant to go to Dubai, and his father eventually tells him that तुझे जो अच्छा लगता है तू वो कर, right? And also, let's say like after the movie ends, for example, just an example. So I like Shoaib's character in a way because he depends on that police job. He fails the exam, he doesn't clear it.
He's the first one to take that job in Surat, right?
Yeah, he's full later, but I'm telling uska agar you see that.
No, among these two friends, he's the first one who does that, right?
नहीं, he is the second one. पहले चंदन जाता है.
Okay, sorry.
तो if you see शोएब का भी character, I think it's a good example like of a character की पुलिस का exam clear नहीं हुआ. He has this father का thing where he has to do his kneecap surgery, पैसा चाहिए.
Yeah.
ठीक है. He has to forcefully then दुबई भी नहीं जाना है because मन नहीं है उसको. तो he forcefully does that office का job, प्यून वाला. ऑफिस बॉय के जॉब में ही रियलाइजेस दैट ही इज अ गुड सेल्समैन. ठीक है, बट ही डजंट हैव फॉर्मल एजुकेशन. ठीक है, एंड देन ही कीप्स वर्किंग, ही गेट्स ह्यूमिलेटेड, he has to forcefully quit there. ठीक है, then he has to again join that सूरत का job just to keep financially rolling.
Because he has to pay the EMI for that.
the EMI वाला thing. Then COVID hits again. COVID में सब एकदम बिखर जाता है उसका. And then he loses his friend. He eventually comes back to his home after COVID. ठीक है, when things are normal, he joins college. So now शोएब के कैरेक्टर के पास एक लाइवलीहुड जीने का, he has a purpose also. He's found his purpose कि I could become a good salesman. समझ रहे हो? So he'll study, he'll go through formal education, he'll gather those skills. He'll be a better person at that.
Yeah.
He also will be doing something that he likes.
I see you again.
He also won't be doing something that he'll hate.
I see you. I see what you're saying.
I'll complete. Rukna.
Okay.
So he'll also be doing something that he will be liking throughout his life. ठीक है? That will become his source of livelihood, source of income. He'll lead to a better lifestyle. समझ रहे हो?
I see you. I see what you're trying to tell me. But when you put yourself in shoes of somebody who, again, whose parents are not well to do, you are not well to do, there's not a lot of help that you can expect from the society, so to speak. When you are truly fending for yourself, what will you choose? 3 years or 4 years of college, and then you will, I'm sure, get a good job, or probably 50-50 chance you'll get a good job or not, whatever, right? So, what is the guarantee that 3 years after his graduation or 4 years after the graduation, he will get a sales job? He's definitely. See,
there is
listen,
no
listen.
guarantee.
No, listen. He's clearly not going back to the same company. He got a sales job at that company because he had proven himself. At a new company, he'll need to prove himself again. Right? There are chances that a new company might not want him. So it's kind of 50-50. But if today, and that is 3 years from now or 4 years from now, after the graduation, instead today, if he starts working at one of these menial labor jobs, which are, let's say, it could be anything. It could be being working at McDonald's. It could be working at that cloth factory in Surat. That could be going to Dubai. Dubai, maybe he was going to be a mechanic. Right? So any of these menial jobs where there is no growth, there is no, soul satisfaction, so to speak. But that is money in the hand today. I can pay
that
for
longer
the food.
run mein he'll
But
be
see, that
not
is
in a good state, na?
हाँ, but ये तुम बोल रहे हो because you're privileged to think that far. If you are at a spot today where तुम्हें तुम्हारे बाप के सर्जरी का EMI भरना है, you don't have food, right? Or you have food only for a few days. Will you choose something that is a graduation 3 years, 4 years down the road, and then probably a job or may not be a job in the hand, or will you choose a menial shit job today that gives me money?
But that's also fine. See, even if he
And see, that is the reason.
menial
And
job,
now when you think about it, like even we talk about Swadesh Bhi, why in that, you've seen, they show that there's a lot of people who don't want to send their children to school. Or this is true even today. Like a huge reason why midday meal exists is so that parents send their children to school. It's for this. It's for this very reason. When you put yourself in the shoes of a farmer who doesn't own any land, who doesn't have a farm, right? We were talking about zamindari ki there are farmers who don't own a farm, or a father who drives a rickshaw and doesn't even own that rickshaw. And there are many modern examples of it, the Zomato, Swiggy, the 10-minute delivery guys, right? A lot of them don't own the vehicles that they deliver on. You must have seen a lot of them do it on you lose and all. If you were one of those and your son or daughter is now 6-7 years old, what makes more sense? Sending them to school or sending them to work at a chai ka tapri?
yeah, agree. But see, if an individual,
I know you are telling me a very, and I don't disagree with you. I'm not trying to prove
I'm not,
you wrong, right? I'm just trying to show you the other side.
see, the other side exists. But let's say a person like Shoaib again, I'll tell you, give his scenario.
Yeah.
So it's again like if a person has purpose in life. Let's say agar Shoaib ka hi scenario hai, and let's say he has that family situation again going on for 3-4 years, financial instability.
Yeah.
But he has a purpose in life, yaar, ki I want to become a salesman because that is what my calling is again. So he will strive to handle both
But
parallel.
it's asking a lot from one human being, right?
It's not asking. Yeah,
It is asking
a lot of people do it.
It is very difficult for them. I'm sure a lot of people do
A
it.
lot of people do it, na. But again,
No.
only those people survive who pass that.
Wait. A lot of people do it doesn't mean it is easy.
I'm not saying it's not easy.
Imagine
but again,
doing.
that is what life is.
Hold on. No, that is not what life is. That is not what life is. Or unfortunately, that is what life is. It is not how it should be.
It shouldn't be, but
Right.
again, you'll not get any.
See,
everything.
imagine working at McDonald's, for example, or even worse, McDonald's work would not, I assume, I haven't worked at McDonald's, I assume working at McDonald's would not include a lot of physical labor. Imagine working in a factory or a construction site, somewhere where it includes back-breaking physical labor. So you're physically tired, then coming home and studying for 5 hours. I'm not saying that is impossible.
It's not
But
impossible.
listen, I'm not saying that is impossible, but I also acknowledge that you, me, pretty much any of our listeners cannot do it. Maybe one day, maybe 2 days, not for a graduation.
So that is what
You understand what I'm trying to say?
I'm understanding.
It's gonna
but
be
again,
so
only,
difficult.
Not out of 100, not every person could do it. Only a few would do it.
We should not, we should clap for them in the sense they have done it, yes. But that is not something we should be proud of. That is something we should be ashamed of. We should be ashamed that we have created a system where people need to go to such extremes to essentially earn a livelihood. And again, there is no assurance of a livelihood at the end of a graduation, neither for you and me nor for them.
Your job is again a replaceable entity given any time. There's no assurance that you complete your graduation, you'll get a job, you'll lead a decent lifestyle. No one's assuring you. Anyway,
Yes.
you come from a privileged family, you come from a middle class family, you come
from a privileged family,
poor
it becomes a
family,
little easier because
it is.
I assume you have connections. You heard of this guy called Anant Ambani? We'll just leave it at that. If you get it, you get it. Yes. Yeah, with that, but that is also, as much as I feel this movie lacked subtle Bihari Bajpayee, as much as it didn't go in depth, I feel this is one of the lovely things about the movie.
End does have subtle.
No, I feel that is a good thing about the movie, that it, leaves you with a lot of conflicting ideas, with a lot of conflicting thought. That yes, education, I do agree that education is truly the only way to uplift the masses. But at the same time, as I said, if you are one of those people, educating yourself or your child is going to be so difficult. Again, as I said, if you drive a rickshaw in Mumbai that you don't own, that you have to, pay a rent on, doesn't it just makes more sense to send your child to do jhadu pocha at somebody's home than to send them to school? And that is, I think, the lovely thing about this movie. It leaves you with these conflicting ideas. It leaves you questioning. Yeah, it leaves you questioning.
Yeah, because every individual has that choice to make, right? And their life,
often not an easy one, but
not an easy one, but again, it is again the choices that every person makes. It will take them wherever.
Well, with that said, that's all my points. Do you have any other points?
Yeah, I found the end. I don't know, it didn't have much impact. It ended very, I don't know, felt a bit rushed with them making the house and inaugurating the house at the end.
I think him dying and the ambulance going back into the village was a good point to end.
Yeah, but they kind of wanted to
bring the story together.
Bring the story and kind of give some hope towards the end.
But as you said,
might have ended on the ambulance thing, it would have been a very depressing end.
But isn't that the reality?
That's the, I mean, again,
there are literally,
that's a choice again.
Yeah. See, there are literally unknown number of immigrant laborers who died in this country at that point. And it's unknown because nobody gave a shit to record their deaths. That is depressing. Like, you died and nobody gave a shit to record your death. Yes, that is depressing. Thank you. It is depressing. Yeah. And also, as you said, in somewhere trying to tie the story back, they made it very rushed.
Yeah, towards the end at least. Yeah. After the death scene,
his parents were able to build the house. There are a few parts in this movie, by the way, which I felt would not match up logistically a lot. But okay, sure.
Like them building the house after COVID.
No, I was just wondering, it's not like they didn't have a house. Okay, but the house was falling apart and
yeah,
all
it
of
was
that.
not hut house, right?
Yeah.
They didn't have a pakka house made.
And and then people do things like, I was going to say that, maybe if I was in that place, maybe building a pakka makan would not be my priority.
That's the priority of.
But then that has been
people living in villages.
And then when you follow the arc, that has been the priority of this character. He does say कि हम जब officer बनेंगे तो हम क्या cement की छत वाला घर बनाएंगे and all of that. So
Because again, that's again like living in a village in today's time. You see a lot of people building their own houses, like brick houses, obviously, and transforming basically.
Forget village. I think we were just talking about this the other day. So many people middle class people in Mumbai and in a lot of cities buy cars.
Buy cars, want a flat in a very posh.
Why do we buy car? And they want to buy an SUV, like they want to buy a Nexon or not even Nexon. What is this? Creta. Why do they want to buy a Creta?
Status.
Creta is simply a status machine at this point.
But यहाँ पे इधर in the film के context में the house is again a very
Is there Creta?
नहीं, it's not the Creta, it's a very physical thing ना कि you see in the first shot itself the छत breaks, something falls off the छत and there is a hole and they have a dialogue saying कि बारिश में अभी फिर से we'll have leakages हुई. So it's a very it's a necessity in a way for them.
But yeah, there is a lot of logistical things like
For survival.
no, there's a lot of logistics things that like I think just don't match up. Like how much time has passed? How much we don't know. How long did he work there in the factory?
Factory is like 6 months of time.
And I don't know, like, is that enough to like build a house? Like,
yeah, because building a house would take you how much? In a village like that would take you 2.5 lakhs.
oh yeah, well that is true. Yes, we as Bombay people always think
and obviously all 4 of them were also working, right? So each one of them was earning almost like 30,000-40,000 a month, like combined income.
Could be again, yeah.
They were also slowly building the house, like they themselves were building the house. So again the cost.
Oh yeah, because his parents do work in construction.
They do work in
anyways,
construction.
right?
So the only thing they had to pay was for raw materials and some labor, right?
Well, yeah, I think there are a few.
They could like make a house in 6 years and a year.
Yeah.
And also her daughter she also has this line saying we can build a house in a year if all 4 of us start working.
There is, okay. There's also this thing like. I feel Janhvi Kapoor's character was very underutilized.
So her presence was just to act as a catalyst for Chandan's character.
I would have liked
and to the overall narrative to bring this idea out ki at the end education is what matters.
I feel I would have liked to see a little more. Especially like, female issues or like issues in the Indian society if you are a female.
Yeah, but her family also was shown like a very progressive kind of a family.
But that doesn't mean that women don't have problems, right? If your family is progressive, you're still gonna have problems.
Maybe, but like very simple thing as well, like the Chandan guy coming to her house, sitting there and them both sitting together and
which is very progressive.
That itself was like a very progressive
yes,
thing in a
but that again, that doesn't mean that she has not faced problems, right? I wanted to.
She might have, but they.
She definitely did, but
they didn't choose to maybe show.
Maybe because they wanted to stay
focused on the 2 other characters, yeah.
But I think her character was definitely underutilized. Which brings me to the last question I have for you. You think Janhvi Kapoor is a decent actress? She knows acting?
No, you need a decent director to bring out a decent performance.
So you think in this movie her acting is decent?
To a point. Look, at least she didn't feel out of context in the film.
No, I really...
I didn't feel her very glamorous or out of context or very flashy in the film. So I think she worked in a way. And also,
I haven't watched much of her movies, to be honest. I don't watch.
Don't watch it. And also, since it was a Dharma film, so obviously one of these so-called Nepo kids had to be in the film. So, yeah.
No, but I mean, really questioning myself if, specifically in this case, Janhvi Kapoor, is a deserving actress. Does she actually know acting, or is she just there because
she has money and
Sri Devi's daughter?
That's the only thing.
There are actresses. For example, Kareena Kapoor. As I said, I recently watched 3 Idiots. So there are 2 movies, 3 Idiots and Lal Singh Chadda. And even Jab We Met. where I completely. So this, in my opinion, I think I've said it in a previous episode as well, that my barometer, so to speak, to measure if an actor's acting ability is that while watching a movie, while watching a performance, do I forget that I am watching Shah Rukh Khan or Kareena Kapoor or Leonardo DiCaprio or whoever. Like we talked about Swadesh, right? When you watch Swadesh, you forget you're watching Shah Rukh Khan. Right. Similarly, when you watch Jab We Met or Three Idiots or Lal Singh Chadda, I forgot that I'm watching Kareena Kapoor.
No, that again boils down to the thing that how well the character has been written also, no?
I
See how
feel.
much, like what the character is doing on screen.
So do you feel the same way about Janhvi Kapoor? Have you ever seen her performance such that you forgot you're watching Janhvi Kapoor?
Because most of the roles that she does or actors like her do are like just simple mainstream that girly wala role na. Ki she's just there for the sake of it. समझ रहे हो? Like at least in this film she has some value to add as a character to the film in a way. At least like acting as a catalyst of propagating this education wala thing. Like if she had nothing to do in this film, then again she would look like
Eye
Janhvi
candy?
Kapoor, Eye Candy or Janhvi Kapoor again. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that is the basic rule, na? How well the character is also written and what your character is doing on screen. If the character has nothing to do on screen or perform, again it will look blank only.
Well, fair enough. I also felt the same way. I felt her acting was not completely shit.
Not shit, it was a decent thing. Like she didn't have much to do, but okay. Like whatever she had, she fit in the
What about
character.
the other actors, especially these two, the main
Boys were
guys?
also, they had too much of to do in the film, but I felt like some spaces they were not also there within the character. But towards the climax, at least when the COVID thing happens and they like leave Surat and are traveling back home, that was very impactful. Like when it came to their performances.
I agree with you that
So
the
again,
rest, especially Chandan's performance, I think it just doesn't exist till that part.
Yeah, because also if you see
Like till that part, he's just like reading the script. That is when he's like, oh wait, so
see, that's also one thing because if you see both these characters,
yeah.
So the film is not much dramatic if you see. One reason for that is because throughout every scene or every situation these characters are put in, they're just reacting. They're not taking any. They're not making any choices.
Any agency, yeah.
Yeah, they're not making any choices or acting upon these situations. If you see in every scene, like Chandan ka, if you see the Babu wala scene, he's just there. He's just reacting. He's not doing anything. Okay. So what happens in that case also it doesn't build much character in a way.
And yeah, you're right. And like when they have to run away from Surat.
Yes, the story doesn't feel more like dramatic because your character is not constantly making any choices throughout the film. They're just reacting. But that doesn't mean that the characters are just one dimensional also because you see them reacting to a lot of aspects, to a lot of problems or to a lot of conflicts that are happening around. It is just not one conflict that they are reacting throughout. That is again a choice or the way they designed the.
I know you're right. Now that I think about it, that's closer to true to the real life.
Real life, like you don't react much. I guess
No,
people.
you just, especially somebody like Chandan would be just reacting to the situation they are put in. Because in real life they have so little agency over their own lives.
And also because the film is not very plot heavy, right?
Which is I felt was a miss.
Because it's not plot heavy, like there is no plot.
But then it could also just be like the Bollywood fan in me wanting to see like, a Surya character changing things.
But not वैसा भी नहीं, but like if there was a central plot and you put in these characters or they are trying to
It would have been
reach a certain point, then you see that the characters will be making choices in that journey.
Correct. With that, Any concluding words?
Hoping that the film reaches the final Oscars list to the last 5 contenders, at least gets nominated in the foreign category. Maybe we'll have something to cheer up this year.
We'll have to look at what other movies are going from other countries.
Yeah.
But I don't think it is going to go there. Go till the.
It could, I feel.
I feel it will not, because as we discussed, it does not. It's not a great film by filmmaking standards, because it doesn't go deep on any subjects. It does a lot of spoon feeding. The cinematography is a little off. Yeah. I think all of that is going to prevent
I think
it.
the Western audience needs spoon feeding, right?
I don't know.
They might not feel it as spoon feeding because they are not also aware of.
I'm not sure. I think
lot
there
of
is a
these
no.
issues.
I feel there is a lot of things. For example, the train scene that I told you is spoon feeding for anybody who's not 6 years old. And the problem is that in Bollywood, our audience has the same mental aptitude as 6-year-old. But man, yeah, and I'm pretty sure that other countries across the globe are gonna send a lot of good work. Yes. And a huge reason why this will not fly is not because this by itself is very bad, but because others are gonna be much better.
I don't know, Scorsese is still backing it, right?
No, I'm sure he is, and I'm not saying it is bad, but I'll be surprised.
Yeah, but this film also has a chance, I think, because it won at Cannes also, right?
Yeah, I think it was
Won
nominee
some-
at Cannes or something.
nominated or won some award at Cannes. So
Okay.
it still has a chance.
Oh no, it definitely does, but
And also,
let's see.
Westerners like this idea of seeing India in this realistic portrayal.
That's what a lot of Indians say. But isn't this the truth? Isn't this actually who we are? Did not an unknown number of immigrants die? So there's this scene where they are trying to leave Surat and the police is beating. Did that not happen? Does all the police in this country not get their salary by the tax money that we pay, and then they come beat us? Right? So is this not the ugly truth of our country? I've heard that even when Slumdog was a thing, right? When it launched and everybody was talking about it, a lot of people were like, "अरे अंग्रेजों को तो यही देखना है, slums हैं ये."
गरीबी दिखा दिया.
क्योंकि गरीबी है. क्योंकि गरीबी है. One of the first things you must have also heard from your friends who moved abroad, especially to the Western nations, that यार they have a lot of complaint कि यार यहाँ पे तो कामवारी नहीं मिलती, सब काम खुद से करना पड़ता है. Because there's dignity of labor, because people get paid a reasonable sum of money, right? इसलिए काम वाली नहीं, क्योंकि वहां पे हाँ काम वाली मिलती है ना. You have to spend like $1,000, $600, $700
for a maid.
हाँ, यहाँ पे कितना है यार? मतलब 2,500 is how much?
यहाँ 2,500-3,000 है.
2,500, 3,000 for is what, $30?
Yeah.
Yeah. Urban Ladder, yeah, one of these companies, they launched Urban Ladder, where you can like book an electrician, book
Urban
whatever.
Clap.
Urban Clap.
पर घंटा 100 रुपया.
100 रुपए में you can get a maid.
Maid या कुछ का है.
So there's a complete lack of dignity of labor. There is a complete. In fact, we're just recording this. What last weekend when the whole strike of these 10-minute delivery guys happened, and Dipender Goyal, the CEO of Zomato,
made a podcast.
No, he did this tweet, right, where he said our system is not abusing, it is not like exploiting labor, and the proof of that is millions of people do it. Like millions of, oh God, what example do you want me to give? Huh? There is millions of women who get raped. Does that mean what I think it means? Because that sounds great, man. That sounds like we should be raping somebody right now. Oh God, I'm sorry.
One Congress MP just in the...
There were millions of Indians who were, actually billions of people Not billions, sorry. The world population was much lesser than back then. But yeah, millions of people at a point, especially Indians, specifically Indians, who were slaves to British. So that means it was a great system, man. You know, if it was not oppressive, why were so many millions of Indians a part of that? It's just some bullshit billionaire logic. It's just the kind of bullshit you hear rich people. Only a billionaire could tell you that. Yeah. Because it's a great system, billions of people are part of it. Yes. Sorry, you were saying something. A Congress MP, something.
I mean, like people have shitty mindsets and ideologies. One Congress MP just, I think, Abhi, just like 2 days back in the parliament, Lok Sabha, Vidhan Sabha, in Karnataka, I guess, yeah, in Kerala, I don't know which place. He just said if a woman's getting raped
Yeah.
and she can't get out of it, why doesn't she enjoy it? Let her enjoy the rape and get raped.
I'm not mad.
And that
I'm
guy
not
was
angry.
fucking
I'm
laughing in the Vidhan Sabha. So like people have like really shitty
Brilliant country, brilliant people.
mindsets.
Actually, this is not just India, it's globally, but I'm an Indian and I only speak for my country. I only love my country and I would want us to be better. It's a bit of the... Anyway. Yes, so...
You should end it.
No, I was going somewhere with the Zomato strike thing. Yeah, that, you know, like this 10-minute delivery thing does not exist in a lot of the developed world, the Western world. You know why? Because nobody would risk their lives to deliver you a fucking pack of bread or eggs or whatever or fucking chocolate or whatever you're buying. And I'm not sure if you've noticed this. After your order amount is a certain rupees, you are not even paying for the delivery. Your delivery is free. You're getting charged nothing extra compared to, you know, walking to a D-Mart or something and buying the same groceries. And that's sadly the kind of like fun that we get. कि यार बताओ एक्स्ट्रा पैसे भी नहीं देने पड़े और घर पे भी आकर डिलीवर करके गया यार. How amazing.
तो पैसे तो प्रोडक्ट्स में ही मार रहा है तो.
Or maybe not, you know, like a lot of these Silicon Valley brands, like the Silicon Valley model is to like just never make a profit. You know, like Uber didn't make a profit for us. Uber, I think, still doesn't make a profit.
But these
right?
quick commerce companies are still not profitable, no? India at least.
I don't see how will they
all
be.
Of them,
you know, like how can you be profitable? Well, I don't see this business model to be solid to start with. A pack of, let's say, there are these groceries. Let's say you are one of these platforms and you move a huge volume, so you might be getting it, let's say bread. You're getting this bread much cheaper from Britannia than a D-Mart is. Let's, again, for the sake of example, which I really doubt because D-Mart genuinely moves terrific volume. D-Mart moves so much volume that there are companies like Prestige and a lot of these household brands which do special packaging just for D-Mart. In August, I bought a set of a bread toaster and an electric kettle for I think 1100 or 1200 bucks together at D-Mart. If you buy these products on Amazon, they by themselves are like 1100, 1200 bucks from Prestige. So Prestige is not like a shit brand, you know, it's not something you've never heard of. Like there's proper warranty and everything, right, with Prestige. So how's this difference? Like the same model on Amazon is like 1200, 1000 bucks a piece, and here you're getting like a toaster and the kettle. It's simply because D-Mart moves so much volume that Prestige is willing to make like this special combo pack just for D-Mart. Like the box red on the back of it to be only sold at D-Mart. Right? But anyway, in this hypothetical scenario, let's say you move enough volume, you move more than D-Mart. So Britannia is willing to give you a special deal. But how much is that going to be? Especially on a lot of these 10-minute delivery apps, a lot of people order perishables, things like bread. things like eggs, things like, chips.
Daily use.
Right? These are perishables. A good thing about an electric toaster and an electric kettle, they're not perishable. You can let them sit for 10 years in the box, and as long as we are still a functional country after 10 years, and we still have 220 volts AC electricity in our walls, the toaster will still work. That's not the case with egg or bread or chips or whatever, right? So you're not moving that amount of volume. Because most of your products are perishables, you have a fucking cut-off time, right? There's a literal fucking expiry date printed on it. You cannot sell it after that. For a lot of products, like for example, chili sauce or like mayonnaise or something, you can't sell it months in advance of that expiry date. Because like I eat very little amounts of mayonnaise or let's say chili sauce. I am not buying a chili sauce from you which expires in a month. Because I know I'll probably like eat
6 months or
I'll not finish it. It's just a waste of year. So you have a hard cutoff when your product just goes to shit. When it goes to shit, it becomes 100% loss, right?
right.
Like all the fucking money on it is lost. So, and then you need like employees to pack it. You need your back-end infrastructure, right? Your server, your app developers, your whatever. And then you need delivery guys. And yet you are selling it at the same price as DMart or often cheaper. How does this business model make any sense? And then of course you're squeezing everyone, right? You're squeezing the guy who's packing the orders. You're squeezing the delivery guy. But there is no, this business model does not, business model, Yeah. And we've seen this is the Silicon Valley model, I like to call it. We've seen Uber do this, we've seen Amazon do it. And the idea is eventually to become a monopoly, eventually to become too big to fail. And on that terrible, genuinely terrible, pretty disappointing note, we would like to end this podcast. If there is a silver lining to this cloud, we will soon be doing 3 Idiots. I have just finished reading Crime and Punishment, and if you go back enough, one of my original promises was that on this podcast we'll not only talk about films, we'll talk about all forms of media. So I guess soon I'll be doing my first episode on a book. It will be on Crime and Punishment. And I don't think you'll be joining me. Will you be joining me?
I haven't read the book.
Yeah, and it's like a 3-month project. So, yeah, it's a 3-month project. Took your time to read it. Yeah, and cheers. Goodbye. Have a good time. Don't order from Zomato or Swiggy or any of those. I'm watching.
Chalo.